Well, we were at Bonte's. It was right next to Roseland. Gosh, dude, I made it fucking quick. Just like there's something in Milwaukee every moment. Red Rock is in Denver. And it is so close. National Amphitheater, all these. Oh, you know, I've heard of that before. I know what you're talking about. There's nothing going. It's the middle of the day, nothing's going. You go everywhere. But they have all these naturally carved, like you see in Utah, the arches. Yeah, like all the natural like stuff. And you can come out on the sled. There's a whole bunch of them. And you can look down on the stage or come on a ledge and walk out. And that sounds beautiful, honestly. And it's just the most incredible place. Oh man, I went there just even without anyone playing. It's the middle of the day, no one was there. I'm just like, this place is so fucking cool. Dude, I want to go there now. It's like a D&D Dungeon Master's fucking like creation. It's like, I grant the smell. I have like a Dungeon Master descent on the clouds be like, no, your creator, I will now pass you to the great Thespian Archlord or some shit. Like the Thespian Archlord or some shit that's like the leader of all like the artisan theater players or some shit. Like a Thespian wizard or something. That sounds awesome. It's a huge amphitheater. Oh, it's so cool. If you ever get a chance, check out Red Rock. Well, I mean, if I'm in Colorado by any chance. Now, if there's a concert you want to see at Red Rock, go for it. I'll have to find out. One of these days. Ugh. Metal. Ugh. Funny enough, I don't really feel as sore or anything. Actually, I feel way less sore and all that shit in comparison to how I was on Saturday. And I think a part of that is because it did not fall in a fucking ditch. That's, I think, some part of that. I survived a ditch because there was no ditch to befell. I did take the late night bus, so I will admit, I feel like the late night bus guy was a tiny bit of a dick. My earbud died, so I was like, you know what, fuck it. I'll just like have my speaker playing on low, just have it right next to my ear. And apparently that was loud enough for the driver to hear, be like, excuse me, you need to have your earbuds or have that off. And I'm just like, my earbud died, sorry. I straight said that, and it's like, okay, well, just have it low. And I'm like, it was. I wasn't going to argue about it, but I was like, it was, but I'll just have it off. You know, and it's like, that's honestly, a lot of that was probably me singing. He's like, okay, well, just, nah. It's like, fine. It's kind of low-key thinking this, but, you know, it's like, alright, fine. It's like 1 in the morning, I get it. There's literally 2 other people besides just me. I don't really see why that's a big deal, but fuck you, honestly. Not really that big of an issue. I'm causing no distress or fucking harm or anything like that to people, but oh no, God forbid someone, you know, be singing music. It was Michael Jackson too, actually, funny enough. It was like, all I want to say is that they don't want to care about us. And I guess he did care about us, apparently. In the wrong way. But whatever. But holy shit, dude, that fucking concert. Oh my god. That was fucking lit. I haven't thrashed that hard in a fucking good minute. I mean, I was thrashing pretty good for, for the good bit of that show. And, for, like, creator and shit like that. But, oh my god. Oh! Man, it's been a fat fucking minute since I really thrashed hard. And, oh my god. I'm going to feel it. I am certainly gonna feel it, that is right, yeah. Gonna feel this shit to the core of my bones. I'm already feeling it in my upper back. I can already feel it. Hold up. Actually, I want to pull up. some of the songs I've recorded, but I'll do that later. I always like to make sure I kind of like, you know, stream a little bit of like the previews to some of the videos I got uploaded before I actually upload them. Because, I mean, honestly, like, the show was just fucking amazing. Dude, I Am, one of the openers, holy fuck. Dude, I don't know what it is about my luck with, like, openers, but, dude, every opener I've seen so far in, like, the past, like, 5 shows has been slamming fucking good. I'm like, goddamn. Just goddamn. Good shit. Yeah, come on. There we go. Oh, here. Actually, speaking of the background shit, here. There we go. Oh man, honestly, surprisingly, that isn't as harsh on my throat as I thought it would be. Especially considering all the screaming and shit that I've been doing earlier tonight. Just yelling, yeah, and all that shit. Surprisingly, my voice isn't really that fucked up from it. Oh wait, there it is. Cool. Oh, here. Here, I'm gonna pull up some of the go up and pick some of the footage. Oh, what the fuck? How did my camera get turned on? Fuck off, cam. God, piece of shit. There we go. How did that even happen? Motherfucker. There we go. Fucking dumbass camera. God. Ah, here we go. Sweet. Oh, sweet. Excellent. Got the fucking Havoc set list. Taking pictures. Someone grabbed it before I did, so they got that set list. But it did get Talk to Holocaust set list. But I was able to at least get this picture. So I was able to at least, you know, see which songs, you know, I've recorded at least, you know, based off of that. So I can at least, you know, make sure when I upload I have the song title in there too. I know I recorded the first song, so I think... What's the name of the full song? It just says simply Point. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not the name of the full song. Havoc. Point to no return. Nice. Excellent. Alright, cool. Dude, that song was a fucking banger to start off with. Just an excellent fucking tune. Dude, fucking every goddamn band so far. I was a little late to miss Hammerhead, unfortunately, but seeing the rest of the fucking bands, oh, that shit went hard. And I saw so many motherfuckers that I knew in that show, dude. Like, the guy that was the guitarist for Hellshock was actually the security guy checking tickets. And I looked at him and was like, are you the guitarist from Hellshock? He's like, yes I am. And I'm like, well, holy shit, dude. I saw your show on Saturday. It was fucking amazing. It's like, fuck yeah, dude. I mean, so that was pretty legit. And my friend Tyler, his frontman for his band, Talk Terror, happened to be there with his dad. So they were there. One of my coworkers was fucking there. Dude, it was like almost in a weird way like a reunion of like acquaintances that I had. And I was just like, dude, fuck yes, bro. met some people from the punk show on the 4th that happened to be there, and I was just like, hey, what's up? You know, I met at least like 5 or 6, like at least like 10 fucking people that I knew there. I was like, man, oh my god, I need to get back at these fucking local shows, man. Because holy shit, dude. Like, there was just so many motherfuckers that I recognized there. I was like, dude, there was a dude I was actually hanging out with at the train station in Seattle from when I was at Creator. He happened to be there. He was there. And I happened to look at him, I was like, I recognize your jacket, dude. And it's like, yeah, I recognize yours too, man. I was like, were you at Seattle? I was like, yeah. And I was like, dude, motherfucker. It's like, holy shit. Like, the fucking, like, hardcore camaraderie that was going on that night for me, oh my lord, it was just goddamn glorious. I was going hard in the pit, too. Oh, yeah. Oh, pit was just excellent. Excellent fucking pit. Honestly, actually, like, I feel like I've said this every fucking show, but this was the best show of the year. Like, hands fucking down, top show. Top show right there. Like, oh, dude, it's been so long since I've seen Havoc, and oh god, they fucking still got it. Oh man, they still got that shit. Dude, talk to Holocaust too, dude. Like, those two are fucking like a duo, like, just like power duo. Like, I mean, because last time I saw Havoc and Talk to Holocaust, they were touring together too, and just, oh my god, just fucking phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Just quality fucking underground thrash. And it just shows that, like, that underground, like, metal scene and shit is just still so fucking alive and well. I mean, because, I mean, you got, like, so many local motherfuckers, you know, going out and shit, you know, to these shows and stuff. Dude, it was just so, just, in a crazy weird way, just, like, so refreshing and just so lively and just, all, in a weird way, nostalgic. Even though, for me, it shouldn't be. I'm only 25. I've been going to these shows since I was like fucking like 15, 16 and shit. Like for a decade. It shouldn't necessarily feel nostalgic to me. It should still be in my peak. And I mean, because it is. But I think it's just because of COVID, dude. Like, there was like a good 2 to 3 year period where there's like fucking no concerts, no show, like fucking nothing. And now like shit's popping the fuck off with shows, concerts, all sorts of shit within like the past like year, and oh my god, just amazing. I'm just so happy that, you know, I'm just pulling the trigger and saying fuck it this year. I'm so glad that my whole like ambitious fuck it mentality this year has been pulling off. Like, there's definitely been some gambles. I've had some fuck ups, slip ups, you know, stuff like that, but for the most part, it's been super fucking successful. You know, it's making me more ambitious and more confident, you know, overall, in a way. Because it's just like, man, to get back into these scenes and to get back into, like, the groove a little bit, it just feels fucking good. It's a good thing. Especially just, like, knowing that, like, I mean, especially with this week alone, there's so many fucking shows going on. Just with this week alone, like, I think for this entire week, like, every venue in Portland has a show going on, basically. Outside of maybe, like, 1 or 2 at any given day. Like, but beyond that, like, pretty much every fucking venue in Portland's got a show going on. I mean, it's like that for at least until August. Like, there's, like, a show going on fucking every day, practically, up until, like, somewhere around August, and then there's, like, a little respite for a minute, for the most part. And then it gets back into the groove once, like, you know, late September, November, October starts rolling in. Because once all that shit rolls in, then there's, like, another wave of tours and shit like that. But beyond that, like, I mean, there's, like, a little tiny moment of respite. But it's just been constant show after show after show going on. It's actually hard to keep up. Like, I missed a few shows just because it didn't hit my zeitgeist. Like, Steel Panther I wanted to go to, but I totally missed that shit. They happened to be at the Crystal Ballroom, and it totally spaced me. And in the last second when I found out, like, oh yeah, they are touring, and they're going to show up in like a week. And I look up tickets, they're already sold out, and I was like, fuck.
Wait, do you really need the light on to watch this little teeny...
Oh my god, okay, I just got home, I'm lit, you can cut me slack. I just, like, moshed my fucking heart's content. I'm gonna be, like, dead tomorrow. Like, I mean...
Okay, the only time I turn that light on if I'm doing...
Oh, my God, what?
There's a light from here.
Oh my lord, I want to observe my fluff in all the light and glory that he is in this, like, glowing beam of lovely adorableness and all that shit. Oh my god, fuck, oh my god, who cares? This is like literally the wrong time to fucking talk about this, shut up. It's literally the last time to, like, you know, refer any of this to me. I'm not gonna register any of it. Just putting that right the fuck out there. None of it's registering in my brain. In fact, I forgot what the fuck you was just bitching about. Like, I'm not registering that in my head right now. I don't give a fuck.
No. Okay, hold on a second. Let me pull it.
Oh my god, my dog is causing mayhem. I love my dog is causing chaos. Beautiful.
This is not a lot of Douglas. Oh, shit.
Goofy little pup.
I do that more often, but it doesn't matter no matter how many times I do it. It's still just as much work if it's just a little bit of stuff or a lot.
Okay. We'll do some yoga or some stretches and stuff. It might help you back. Or it might help at least loosen it up. It's coming from a dude who thrashes his head off, you know, to his heart's content. It then, like, is borderline a cripple the next, like, 3 days. Stretches and yoga definitely help. And also doing a few little, like, back cracks occasionally. That also does help. Honestly, I'm actually kind of surprised I went as hard as I did with the mosh tonight, which, honestly, I know by the time I feel this tomorrow, I'm going to immensely regret it. A lot. Oof. And honestly, I can already slowly but surely feel it. It's just not enough for me to feel like, it's not yet, at least.
Chris wants...
I already took a picture. She never responded. I was on my way to the show when she asked me that, and I sent a picture on the Max, and she never replied. I'm already...
Which was about what time?
About 7:30 abouts. 7:30 around.
Yeah, I kicked her butt at a skip ball, so she was out of it.
Well, I mean...
Obvious moves, she's missing, I'm just like... Sometimes I tell her, but if I get my ass kicked, I don't tell her, and I whine, and she's all like...
I mean, I mean, considering, the thing is, like, considering that she's kind of out of it right now, I just haven't really been hitting her up, just because, like, honestly, a lot that I want to talk to her about is kind of, like, important shit. Like, you know, like, I mean, honestly, like, I mean, basically more about, like, setting a time... I'm not using that.
Okay, good.
I only did earlier, like, last night, because I was, like, up in the middle of the night, and it was actually kind of cold, and I was, like, trying to get up for my mid-shift so I can go to the concert and all that shit, and, like, honestly, at this point, it's only been on, like, once this entire month.
Lights.
Don't worry about the fucking, like, I mean, I'm pretty much the one who pays most of the... I'm the one who pays most of the electrical at this point anyway. I mean, outside of Mom. I mean, it's like her and the one split that shit. Well, I'm the one who, like, fucking pays most of it at this point. I mean, it's like, pretty much whatever I'm using, I'm paying.
Okay, you pay for it just...
Which, by the way, Social Security... Yeah, could at least put a little monthly income now, just saying right there.
Then the doors are locked, and someone can come in and take whatever.
Oh my fucking god, holy fuck.
Well,
like, the doors are locked. Literally the only one that I might leave unlocked for, like, literally an hour or two is when I'm at work, and it's that one. And, like, I mean, it's never long enough for it to be, like, really an issue. I mean... It's really maximum like 2 hours. And it's that one. And usually you're always here.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, honestly, whenever I'm gone, you're always here. And usually when you're gone, I'm here at some point.
Carol.
Either way, like, I mean, there's no issue with it. Like, I mean, somebody's always here, and eventually when I get my fucking coworker to finally, you know, move in here at some point, which is mostly about the important shit I'm talking about Mom with, like, once that fucking shit gets situated.
Other than the bills, well, the bills are important.
Which I'm the one pretty much predominantly pays at this point. Like, I mean, Mom's always, like, asking me predominantly, like at this point, like, $250, like, every fucking week. And I'm just like, maybe, you know, like, depending on what I need to deal with. Or, like, what's on my schedule for the week and shit. I mean, the last few weeks I haven't been able to as much just because I've been needed to get some shit back because stuff I've lost and also of all these shows and everything. So, just like other shit, but...
Well, I'm just saying keep the bills down and the risk level of somebody coming in.
Oh my, well, I am, like, I mean, like, as much as you don't think so, I am at least somewhat proactive about that. I know you don't think so. It's literally only that one door that I might not necessarily be as much, but that's because I just want to easy in and out when I'm going to work, you know, or going on my break or something. But like I said, like 90% of the time, you're always home.
Oh, yeah.
I'm aware of that, but also, like, okay, never mind, whatever. Who cares? It's not that big of a deal. It ain't that big of a deal.
Always running errands for...
Oh my
People of Prestige, Krista mainly. She's not there now. But
I need a Draken breath. I need like 2 8-gauge Draken breaths like in my dome right now. If you smash some resets in a mosh pit, would that make a mosh potatoes? Some mosh potatoes? Oh hell yeah, dude. Dude, the mosh pit went fucking hard tonight, dude. Like, oh, you know what? I didn't even think about this, but I also met like a friend I haven't seen in a long fucking time. It's an old buddy that me and my friend Logan used to hang out with, Keegan, and like he happened to be at the show, and he was like, "Yo, I kind of recognize you. Your name's like," you know, and he mentioned my name, and I was like, "Yes, your name's like Keegan, right?" And it's like, "Yeah, bro," and I'm just like, "Motherfucker, dude." It's like I met like at least like 10 motherfuckers that I knew like over like the last 10 years at this one show. Like, you know, the frontman for my friend Tyler's band, he just happened to randomly be there. With his pops, one of my coworkers was there. You know, like an old ass friend that was there. The guitarist for Shell Shock was like one of the ticket checkers, you know, and I was like, you know, got acquainted with him a little bit. It was just a badass fucking show, dude. Just like honestly, the top show of the year for me personally. Goddamn Havoc was fucking. Oh. Here, you know what? Here, let me preview some of these. Some of their set. I'm preview set for you. Alright, here we go. This is called "Give Me Liberty or Give Me Death." Dude, this song's fucking epic. I love it. It actually ended like in the middle of their song because some motherfucker moshed into me and that caused the video to stop.
Alright, couple more, man. We're gonna do something real fun before we get out of here. So, the last few years have been a little stressful for a couple of us.
A lot of us.
There's been a whole lot of horseshit that has gone down the last few years, and instead of letting that rot away at the bottom of our soul, we're gonna do something right now to get it out. On the count of 3, I want everyone in this room to take all of that frustration, anger, vitriol, all of that, and we're gonna scream
all of it
out of your heart, out of your soul. On the count of 3, as loud as you fucking can. I swear to God, this is gonna be fun. You're gonna feel a lot better. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, dude.
This one's for you, my friends. Give me liberty or give me death.
Pulls out an AK, just starts firing in the air. Yeah, you got like, you know, the hardcore like Islamists just like, you got like someone going Rambo, just like, oh. Dude got like some bell-fed MG. I'll just put it in there. I'll do it. Might be able to see my friend Metal T somewhere in the pit. He's somewhere in there. This is at least, you know, one point where I was taking a break from the mosh pit, and I was just dripping, like I was like, I just like, you know, got out of a river. Not just a shower, but like a straight up river, like I dunked myself in the river. I didn't want a shot of from him, that's all I wanted to grab it. I don't give a fuck if I'm cut up more. I mean, look at me. For fuck's sake, look at me right now. Do you think I care if I'm cut up more? If I have more scars, who gives a shit? This was at least predominantly because of blackberry bushes. I don't need an actual animal to do that. Get out all your rage! Punch this person next to me. Oh my god, that's what it looked like. That's what happened when my phone got fucking hit, dude. This is when my phone got hit and it cut off. I had a mosh mode and my phone fell out of my hand and it stopped the video. Right here. Boop! I love it.
You're lucky your phone didn't get stepped on.
I mean, no, it still was in my hand. It just, like, I got bumped and, like, the palm of my hand hit the stop record button and stopped the video.
Oh.
Like, I mean, I was gripping my fucking phone. I was on the edge of the pit. I was taking a break and, you know, recording, you know, that one song and, you know, and was gripping my fucking phone because there's been times in the past over the years where I've took like a little mini camera or my phone, you know, and stuff like that where it's got fucked up a little bit in mosh pits, so I gripped that motherfucker. I have like the claw of death on that shit.
Get one of those Tupperware things, put the
get away.
Keep that right away. I'm gonna get some sticky traps and like under the fridge, next to the...
I mean, like, I'm honestly surprised this motherfucker hasn't even grabbed over here yet. Like, I mean, there's been some time where there was no food in here for a minute besides that, and he still hasn't, that fucker still hasn't gone near there. Actually, he's hanging out over here for the most part, so you know what, I'm just gonna move that live trap more deeper in there, and just...
the very front, and I'd like to be able to get back there to the circuit breaker.
You can. I'm able, like, yeah, there's a clearing there.
You can, I can't.
Well, I mean, then tell me what to do. I know how a fucking circuit breaker works. How the fuck did I hit
I need a way to hobble back there.
Ain't that, oh my god, it's you're being melodramatic. There's a way to get back there. Ain't that difficult. Like, oh my god. Well, the main thing getting in your way is like some old beach chairs, and you can just, you know, those are movable. And I'm literally not kidding. It's just beach chairs.
Okay, I'm just saying I don't walk very well anymore.
I mean, the only thing, the only other thing that's like an obstacle is like some shelves. That's it. So whatever. You're fucking fine. Like, goddamn. Don't be so melodramatic.
But I want to get that garbage disposal, and I'm pretty sure I need to switch the circuit breaker on that.
Well, just tell me what the one is, and I'll just do it. I mean, ain't that, it's like, this is my house, too. I should be able to understand how the logistics of this fucking place works.
Oh. Okay, well, I wrote everything and
Well, I mean, don't tell me about now. There ain't no way I'm gonna remember this now. Like, in the future, just when we deal with that, at some point in a given future juncture.
Actually, I probably won't remember much about it now. I just been like.
Well, I mean, I probably will at least. I'm just saying this, the details I probably won't, but I will at least remember the general gist of it.
Until 11 o'clock, then I.
Oh my fucking god. Okay, whatever. I don't. Okay, whatever. Jesus Christ. Jesus fucking Christ.
If I were your age, I'd be proud to say, oh, I had to broom on the pussy fur up my carpet. At my age, it means cats.
What?
When I was your age, it would mean something else.
No, well, not for me either. Okay, what? Okay, I don't even know or care, whatever. I don't.
Pussy fur, tomcat fur, whatever. Just... I don't care, I'm just giving you...
I need an 8-gauge dragon breath shotgun shell in my face.
I'm the dad. That's my responsibility to give you...
To be annoying. Annoyance little murmurs of just like, yes.
I have to annoy you now and again, and I feel like the time is now.
Not... can that be like... Can it literally be any other time?
The time is now. I'm done. Enjoy yourself.
Oh my god. Oh my lord. Goodness fucking gracious.
Lucky I'm not my dad. Or your granddad.
Man, he's been kind of low-key condescending me a little bit about, like, text and shit, because I've been dealing with other shit. I forget to respond to him. So he's like, I guess you don't care about the tax returns and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, motherfuck, like, yeah, I do. I just been focused on other shit. It's like, damn.
You guys care about what?
Oh, yeah, I mean, I'm having to, resolve, or finish up my tax return bullshit. And, he was trying to find out, like, which stimulus check I got, which, like, he sent that, like, I don't know, like, a week ago. And then, like, yesterday, he was like, I guess you don't care about having tax returns, blah, 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 because apparently I didn't send him the statement or whatever the fuck, which I did now, but, like, I mean, I had other shit going on, so I kind of spaced it for a while and totally forgot, and it's just like, it kind of does that a little bit. I mean, every now and then, we're just like...
I'll kind of buy you, there's nothing going on, and then suddenly it's just like...
Condescending remark about how you're not doing anything, and I guess you don't give a fuck or something. I'm just like, what? It's like, geez, like, I mean, there's no harm with doing a quick little reminder or something, but don't, like, condescend my ass. Like, goddamn. I mean, it's not like a full-on condensation, but whatever, but it's just kind of like...
Really great guy, but he just gets...
He has a way to throw a jab every now and then.
Yeah, he's very passionate.
He has a way to throw a personal jab, that isn't, like, brutal, but, you feel it for a minute, and you're like, well, what the fuck? It's like, you'll do that shit every now and then.
I've known them all my life.
I know, I know, that's why I'm saying it. I know you relate to it, because, I mean, you've had to deal with your whole life. I mean, not as much for myself, but I mean, I've definitely gotten stray, little ricochet fire and shit like that. I've gotten a little stray fire.
I'm not trying to be an asshole. I'm just saying.
I'm not saying you are. I'm not even saying Granddad is, by the way. I'm just saying that, like, I mean, every now and then there's a little jab. Every now and then I'm just like, you son of a bitch.
Oh yeah, he's...
But that's why I'll throw jabs back. I mean, it's a mutual thing. I mean, I don't throw jabs at him, though. I mean, I ain't gonna do that. I'll throw jabs at you, but not him. I know not to throw a jab at him. I never had to do that, or want to, or anything like that. I just know from stories not to do that. Just from you.
I mean, my mom was kind of like the mediator lots of times. Oh, I miss her, but...
I know, dude. I mean, yeah, don't remind me of her right now. God damn it. She was such a sweetheart. She would, like, literally make me fucking, like, cookies personally, like when she would visit. She was a fucking angel, dude.
In line. I will tell you that. She did that in the nicest way ever.
Dude, she has such a... She has such an affinity for me, too.
Why aren't you doing this or this or this? I'm just like, okay, Dad, give me a break.
Dude, she honestly has such an affinity for me, too. Like, it's at least, like, one of the good things I remember with my early childhood that, like, she really had such a strong affinity for me and just really had, like, you know, really, you know, for as, you know, little as I remember, did spend so much fucking time with me and stuff like that, to the point where I, like, fucked for makeup kits, you know, like, helping her with, like, making cookies and shit like that.
When I was a kid, my sister had me up, well, just like a little teeny kid, but she had me up in, like, a drag. You know, like a dress and the makeup. And
your sister got you all up in drag. I gotta see a picture of that. Oh my god.
I'd like to see a picture of that.
Oh my god, dude, to see you in a dress would be fucking hilarious. Oh my god.
I was just like a little teeny, like one of these little teeny.
Oh my god.
Toddler beauty queen.
I mean,
my brother standing there in front of the fire.
You know, funny enough, at least.
The makeup, the whole 9 yards.
I mean, at least, like, culturally, if you think about it, like, literally, at least 100 years ago, that was normal for children to do. Like, wear dresses. Like, you know, like, even Theodore Roosevelt, like, or even Franklin himself, Franklin Roosevelt, like, if you look at early childhood pictures of them, yeah, they're in dresses and shit.
Basically dresses.
Yeah, because children were basically seen as, like, androgynous little beings up until they hit puberty, and that's when they were, you know, men and women at that point. You know, but beyond that, like, they were just seen as androgynous little children, so they always were wearing basically the same shit all the time. Which is mostly like dresses and stuff like that.
Oh, my little boy or little girl wants to be the opposite sex. Let's, like, pump up full of hormones and have surgery and change it. What the fuck are you thinking about?
Wait, what? Huh?
Oh, this whole,
Wait, you mean like, wait, gender affirming care? Wait, what?
Gender, whatever.
I mean, like, gender affirming care is a good thing, though. Like,
well,
I mean, because,
when
like...
you're a kid, it's all the other kids, just like...
Well, I mean, because, like, for people who, like, you know, are trans and shit, like, I mean, same thing if, like, a kid's gay or bi or lesbian, right? Like...
You don't, when you...
like, thing is, when they're a kid, though, the thing is, they are not, like, aware, like, of the specifics and nuance about it, but... They have, like, a hunch about, like, you know, who they are as, you know, as an individual, right? Like, because when I was, like, in 5th or 6th grade, I kind of knew I wasn't necessarily, like, a straight kid, but I never knew what, you know, homosexuality or bisexuality was at that time yet at all. But, like, I kind of had a hunch that I wasn't totally 100%, you know.
At the time, I had no idea of sexuality whatsoever.
Well, the thing is, that's why, you know, sex education and that, you know, and a part of that it includes, like, you know, education of, you know, gender identity as well was, you know, kind of important thing because it lets, you know, kids at an early age understand, like, hey, if you happen to...
When you're a kid at that age, you have no idea.
Honestly, you kind of do a little bit, like, because I did, like, when it came to my, shit, I did. I just never really had, like, a nuanced understanding about what it all specifically was up until, like, later in my adult life. Like, it took a while for me to kind of figure out what my overall identity was.
Like, oh, yeah, when I get older, I'd like to marry a guy. Because I can get along with guys. You get older. And...
Oh, sure, but, like, not everyone, like, not every person obviously feels like that. Like, there's definitely plenty of...
You have no idea about sex. And it's just like,
well, that's why sex education and stuff like that's so important. So, like, and the thing is also why it's so important is because then children can understand when things, you know, when there might be an adult that might be taking advantage of them as well. Like, because, I mean, there's been plenty of time, you know, so there's all sorts of things where sex education and gender education and stuff is actually a good thing for children so they can understand not just, you know, their own self, but also to understand, like, when there might be adults taking advantage of them, or, like, when, you know, when it comes to, like, if they're going for hormonal stuff, or, like, for puberty and all that shit, or whatever the fuck. Whatever the hell is going on with them, they have a better understanding about what that is, and being able to kind of go from there.
My sex education was, okay, these are the male parts, these are the female parts,
Well, that's biology. Like, I mean, like biology is different from gender, though. Like, gender is an idea about like what you identify as. Sexual biology is like your physical sex and shit like that. They're two different things.
Yeah, they never did anything about it. So they just like, these are the male parts.
Yeah, they only talked about like the biological sex stuff, right? Yeah. I mean, I got taught the same shit, but I mean, even at least in some part, at least for me, like, I never really totally understood the idea about like genital, at least, because at least, you know, for when I got like sex education for like, you know, the primary education system stuff, like, I never really delved too deep into it. It gave it a basic understanding about what it was, but that was it. And it's like, and obviously, especially, and obviously at this point, there's a lot of different, you know, like aspects and variables where obviously people, you know, and for frankly, since humanity has been a thing, people have identified, or at least, you know, have expressed themselves in ways that are not necessarily normative to how they are born as, you know. So it's because of that, you know, that, you know, there's just, you know, like, there's obviously more of a complex understanding about what sexuality, you know, gender identity is. And that's why, you know, having an education and understanding and more research about these type of things is important. You know,
you're to slide through society if you're like everyone else, even if you're not.
Well, that's like the whole, like, I mean, because that's really fundamentally the whole idea about like what's supposed to be. It's like, you know, regardless of what your identity or, you know, whatever the fuck it is, like, everyone is, you know, is considered an equal. That's why, you know, there's anti-discrimination laws and all these other things, so everyone is considered societally under social contracts of, you know, the system we're in, you know, at least, you know, as considered an equal. Unfortunately, that ain't how the fuck it is whatsoever, but nonetheless.
When I grew up, especially in Montana, it was just like, you were what you were, you know, even if you weren't, and then people kind of figure each other out. Took off! Oh, crap, did I let the cats out?
Yo, instead of,
fur. I just got rid of piles and piles of fur, and let's see, more piles of fur.
No, instead of...
I've been wanting to do this.
What?
I'm too knocked out right now.
I'm too lit myself, don't worry about it. You know, instead of knocking over as you started to stream them out. I wanted to make sure I can at least make sure I got home. I have work tomorrow, okay? Like, you know, there's other shit I'm thinking about here.
I'll verify you are at home.
Yes, and I have work tomorrow. And I have the next two, like, I mean, there's other variables going on here besides just merely, like, I want to go home to stream. Like, I mean, it's either, like, just sit here and just, like, stay lit as fuck for, like, a few hours and just, like, get bored, or do this. You know, like, I mean, it was, you know, because I wanted to at least make sure I was safely home and stuff like that.
You know what really sucks? You get home, you have 1 hour from camping all weekend.
What, to go to work or something?
Just like, and my dad's just like, you're taking a shower. I'm just like,
oh my god.
I'm sitting down, I'm going to work.
Yeah, it's like, let me take a shower.
Like that. I'm going to work at a refinery. The only thing you could smell is
oil and whatever the fuck else and shit.
You've been by Laurel, right?
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. Dude, those fucking refineries, they smell like ass.
Yeah, they do.
And I'm pretty sure it gives you cancer. Like, I mean, ugh.
But, well, it's necessary. But anyhow,
I mean, at this point, probably not.
No one could smell anything but refinery.
Refinery ass, donkey, oil, dick smell. Like, great.
Lay down, kick back, and I got stuck in the mountains and all kinds of crap.
Oh my fucking god.
I got home like Sunday morning at 5 in the morning.
What
I had
the
to get
fuck?
up at 6.
Oh my god, dude, that's... Oh.
You're going to take a shower. So I had no sleep, so I had to
Oh
work
my
another 8
god,
hours.
dude, fuck that,
I was
bro.
like, "Dad, come on, give me a break."
Dude, fuck that, dude. I would just been like, nah, dude. I would have just like turned the shower on and just sat on the toilet and just took a nap there or some shit and pretend I was showering. I would have been like, fuck
Oh, you can't
this.
sit down, but I'm just like, Dad, I can be...
Wait, you can't sit in the toilet while the shower's
I can
going?
be to work in less than half an hour. I'm just like, no, it takes you like 45 minutes to an hour to get to work. You'd have to be going more than 60 miles an hour on the back roads to get there. I'm just like, yeah,
But I could do it.
that's what I plan to do. I know. I mean, if you take the freeways and you have traffic and everything, I just knew all the back roads, you know, like, it's about the same distance, but you could touch it and go like 100 miles an hour and just like, whoa. Well, until later in the summer. This one road is like real busy. I could sit there, come across the cross street, and most people take the busy road. And you have to go like 55 miles an hour, the speed limit or whatever. But I was going across that, you know, taking the back roads, and I'm just like, okay, adjust my speed. Traffic. I could look both ways and just like, okay, slow down. Punch it! There's a stop sign, you know, like 80, 90 miles an hour, you know, cross traffic, you know, because I could see it all the way, every direction, and just like,
Because it's like flat.
now.
Yeah, it's like a flat plains area, right? Yeah, so you can see pretty much where the fucking roads are, yeah.
Passing and suddenly just like, whoa!
Beans?
Where I go? Just,
Beans.
going back and forth to Lord.
I remember that one time where we were smoking some weed in the middle of the night and there was that cop just chilling and I got kind of a little paranoid for no goddamn reason.
Or where?
When we were there last time at Walker's wedding. We were kind of, it was, I think it was like a night before or some shit. We were all...
wedding I ever been to.
Oh, dude, that wedding was lit. I like how I had a mosh pit at a wedding.
To do different.
Dude, well, I mean, if that ever happens, I mean, I will actually use my sister's wedding as a challenge. I will unironically do that. I mean, I literally can't think of a time where a wedding has a mosh pit. Like, my sister was the only wedding I think I could ever think of that had a fucking mosh pit go on. I mean, it's like, name a wedding that had a mosh pit. My sister did.
Yeah, she had piercings, and there were...
Dude, yeah, she pierced her back that day. No, she pierced her back that day. I saw her do it, you know, to get her wedding dress tied in her, yeah.
It's like, what the fuck? I'm just like, okay, this should be interesting as soon as it started, and I'm just like...
Dude, she's so badass, honestly. I kind of wish she lived closer. I'd hang the fuck out with her and her, like, group.
I'm sure you would.
And honestly, like, I mean, I just love that... I love how, at least in some part, that she is also basically, like, her and her husband are, like, the reason why there's, like, a strong, like, underground metal / punk scene in fucking Billings.
Oh, there always has been.
I mean, yeah, there's always has been, but they're basically, like, one of the few that are kind of, like, you know, some of the main organizers of that shit. It's just, like, that's fucking pretty lit.
Walker was a champion of that.
Oh, I can tell. I mean, that's why I say that. It's like, I mean, she, you know, like... Because, I mean, for us being a band, I forgot what the name of their fucking band was, but I need to, like, hit her up again and ask her about that, because, I mean, her husband's band, like their band is fucking...
Oh, an Icelander.
Dude, I mean, dude.
Oh, this birthday, he was so...
Dude, he got so lit so many nights. It was great, dude.
He was like a puppet, you know, just like, oh...
Yeah, you can... yeah, just, like, you know, kind of move him around whatever you want.
It's like, okay...
It was actually kind of cool to go to the Hall Grimsky, that big-ass fucking church with him, because, like, I mean, he's not, like, you know, Christian guy at all, but because he's a pagan, but, I mean, even then, he kind of, you know, had a moment to kind of pay some respects. That was kind of cool, because he kind of took, like, this, like, kind of like this little knee thing a little bit, sit in front of the altar and stuff, that had, like, this old English type of shit.
Oh, I wish I were there.
It was actually kind of cool. I mean, because honestly, the church itself was, I mean, because...
They had to put Walker like a car and drag her up.
Oh, yeah, with her wedding. Oh, my God. Where she was in a wheelchair.
Like,
oh, my fucking God. That's just... I wish...
She had to outdo me on my honeymoon, but...
Well, I will say this. I'm not going to outdo her in that way. I'm just going to try to outdo her in literally everything else. I don't want to be so bad I'm literally being hauled to a wheelchair in the hotel room where I'm having my honeymoon. Fuck that.
Not a wheelchair, a shopping cart.
Oh, yeah, shopping. Wait, what was it? Wait, no, it was a laundry mat or something. It's like one of those laundry bin things, right? Yeah, or some shit.
She couldn't get up the stairs, then just like,
oh my god. I wish I was there, bro.
Plopped her in, drug her up the stairs.
I wish I was there to see that,
Poured
dude.
her out into bed.
Oh my god, I literally just dumb her. I just wish I could see all that, dude. Fuck.
My honeymoon we got married at the Broachy house, and just like,
yeah, because that's around the corner, isn't it?
She got sick as hell. But,
wait, really? She got hell sick, really? I didn't know that. How'd that happen? Food poisoning or something?
No, she was fine until that night, and she just like, oh, let's go to the coast. Let's go to the coast. And it's like, okay. And then at the end of the wedding, I'm just like, okay, the wedding's over. We all got into the limousine and drove away. And then we did the whole tour of Portland. And we came back after everyone was gone. There's a bed and breakfast and everything. So we just like, go up. And just like, oh, yeah. And they had all the honeymoon stuff out. Chris was just like, boom. And she's out. Just like, oh, we got a bubble bath and everything here. And just like,
everything ready to go. And she just like,
I'm glad I'm not driving. Boom. And I was out. I'm just like, I'm really glad I didn't have to drive.
Oh my, no.
Coast.
Well, that was the end goal, was to go to the coast after all that shit?
Yeah.
Oh my fucking god. Whoa, wow. Okay, well, I'm glad that never happened. Because I would never be here, apparently. Like, if that happened. Like, Jesus
Christ. Or Chris.
Yeah, like, Jesus.
I'm just like,
I'm glad that y'all decided to just pass the fuck out.
Just tired.
Oh my god.
And I was fucked up.
Lit, basically, yeah.
I'm just like, well, this was pre-wedding, and just like, just like, okay, after the ceremony, we can go to the coast. And then somebody suggested, oh, take a limo ride through town and everything like that.
And you're just like, oh, why not? Fuck it, right?
They do weddings only, they do bed and breakfast. And I'm just like, oh, I don't want to be around and waiting until everyone leaves. And she knew somebody, she had like all kinds of connections.
Mom's weird about that, dude. She really does have like some connects, dude. Yeah. It's kind of, I don't know what the fuck is up with her about that, but she really does.
Yeah.
She's always got a weird way to figure it out connections, dude. She has a way to find connects, man.
She'd be a good politician.
Oh, dude, you're right, honestly. Holy shit. Oh, my God.
All the connections, pulls all these favors.
Dude, what the fuck? Dude, you're right. She honestly would. Dude, there's like an alternate universe where she's like a local, like, politician in, like, either Texas or Oregon or some shit. Oh, my.
She'd probably, like, be the governor or the president or something.
Dude, she would be such a Machiavellian backstabber in a way, honestly. I mean, I love my mom, but I'm just gonna be honest. Like, I know her enough to where she would probably do some shit like that if she had power.
Yeah, she will.
Oh, yeah, dude. Oh, dude, she would do some shit, man. Oh, my God, she would do some shit, bro. If she had that power, bro. Oh, my God. I can only imagine.
A bunch of shit.
Like, if she, like, I mean, she's like basically like a centrist, kind of like somewhat liberal, modern conservative type right now. But oh my God, if she had power like that, she would be like oh my God, she would be like a theocrat, like, trying to establish a new like Christian America theocracy or some shit, bro. She would do some shit, bro, dude. She would do some shit, dude. I'm not even kidding. If she had that type of power, man, that's why I just like absolute power corrupts absolutely, because like. I can see that as some motherfuckers, and I know my mom, man. I love my mama. I love her deeply, but, like, I just know what is deep down in that core, and I know that would probably be unleashed if she had that total, absolute, ultimate ability.
I love her. Yeah, back in the days, I didn't really...
I know you would probably just crazy shit, and you know what? I would, too. You know what? Like, I know if I had that power, I'd be doing some insane shit myself.
I know
And I know he would too.
And everything, so I know how to avoid it.
Or you could just
you know what I'm saying?
Or you could just like say fucking and do a stall and just be like, nah, great purge, taking all my opponents out and just like, you know, establishing my one party rule, fuck you. I mean, you could do something like that and just like usurp power so quickly that no one knows what to do because you get purged.
Well, I guess before and about the time you were born.
I guess you can't really do that anymore. Unless it's Putin.
Like,
actually, you know what? You can't do that now because if you got a motherfucker like Putin doing that shit now, then yeah, you can do it now. Yeah, you just have to do it a little bit more covertly and like one at a time. You can't really do it all at once.
All these friends are great. You know, they just burned a number. I'm just like, what the hell? Yeah, that's right around when you were born. I'm just like, and then she gave me a bunch of shit, and I just thought, well. And she chilled out a bit, and I'm just like, okay.
Well, thank fuck you didn't leave to go grab the milk while I was around.
You know, give me some slack, I'll tolerate it. We got a kid, mainly you.
Oh yeah, that's the slack, is me. I was the slack, you know, for the relationship.
No, I'd give her some slack. I wanted to make sure I could buffer. You know what I'm saying?
Between me and her?
Yeah.
You know what? I can actually kind of see that, you know, now that I think about it. Because honestly, like, she's kind of said it before, but she always kind of thought she was a little, like, too loose of my brother, but honestly, I always thought she was way too strict of me, personally. So, in a weird way, you were kind of like a strange, like, mitigator.
Yeah, Chad was a troubled kid when I first met her, you know.
I mean, he always kind of was for a while. I mean, honestly, it's only been like
that long, you know.
Honestly, with my brother, like, I mean, it's only been recently where he's honestly been starting to really do good for himself. I personally think, like, not just like everything, you know, not like.
It's been for a while.
Well, yeah, no, I know for sure, no, absolutely, but like, I mean, like mentally. You know, just like emotionally and stuff like that. I mean, obviously career and financial wise he has been for a while, but like, I mean like emotionally and mentally. Like, he's actually been doing really good for himself. I'm honestly fucking shocked how much weight he's lost lately. Like, I mean, funny enough, when I was going to that bike ride on Saturday, he happened to be at Super Beer when I was going to grab some lunch before I went to the bike ride. He happened to be there. And I honestly, for like, retardedly, for 5 fucking seconds, I just stared at him like, huh? And I went, oh! Oh shit. Because honestly, like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm used to seeing him more chunkier, right? Like, so seeing him so thin, it's just like, he's just really looking fucking good for himself.
Yeah,
he honestly, like, even...
I didn't say anything. I'm just like, damn, he's slimmed down looking.
Dude, he's looking really good. And honestly, like, I could tell mentally wise, he seems like he's doing better. Like, I mean... You know, honestly, like, he just seems like he's, you know, all things considered, you know, he's doing fairly okay, you know, it's like, and, you know, him and I have been kind of reconnecting a little bit, because him and I have had rough patches for off and on for a few years.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, I mean, but now him and I have been, you know, reconnected pretty well and getting close again, so.
Yeah, over on 79th and Pine, and we'd sit there and play video games, and
yeah.
I'm just like, yeah, Chris is being a pain in the ass. Hey, Chad, you want to play this game? And she wouldn't come and yell at me. You know, that's where I started learning how to...
Start playing with like, video games, stuff like that? Well, anyway, yeah, what the fuck am I saying? You've been doing that, like, you know, for a while. Like, with the early-ass PC games where you had to, like, fucking put those weird little, like... Well, like, those... little cards. Yeah. he's mimicking what the fuck I'm talking about.
Pong!
Oh yeah, Pong and shit, dude. Honestly, Pong is legit. They can get that on your phone at this point.
Game.
Yeah, you can get that on your phone at this point. Pong's legit. I have no clue.
Actually,
it's parental of a conversation.
Like
yeah,
little teeny squares.
I agree with that.
But if you and a little square came up, which is supposed to be a round ball. But a little
well, yeah, I mean, it was obviously a little, like, 4x4 pixel square.
And just before it went out, if you do the line like that, it would actually give you English on it. So instead of just like, boop, boop. Now, if it's coming this way and you want like that, boop, boop.
Yeah, it would there was like a certain trick.
The direction of
there was like a trick in the game where you can, if you hit it like at the very edge of your little like you know.
It's not the you have to have your little line moving. So
yeah, it's moving, but like you hit the edge while it's moving, and then
moving this way,
no, I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Put a spin on it.
Yeah, it basically kind of does the equivalent of spin. No, I know what you're talking about, where it's like, where you have it like, let's, for example, like it's right here, and it goes boop, boop, and you just like, bam, and that kind of gives that little spin to where it kind of, you know, like really has a hard angle, and it goes even faster, and
my trick. Also just like, move it down, boop, and it come up, and
everyone does shit like that.
If you wait just before it hits, and if you're moving as the ball hits, it would spin off in a different direction.
It's like a little, because there was there's a legitimate trick to Pong, and honestly, I think it was purposely implemented in there, because...
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, because the game was very simplistic as fuck, but, like, there were tiny little... They'll never, ever show it, but there'll be those tiny little tricks. Yeah.
It was... You never knew it, but it was hard.
Simple as it was, like, it was pretty complex.
I noticed that. I'm just like...
I mean, because the whole idea was basically meant to be ping pong, but just like a video game version. So if you think about it, like if you hit the edge in a certain way, like you can get like a little angle curveball thing going on with, you know.
Moving when it's about everyone else, move the line.
Right, yeah, because everyone's doing this, right? Like, because you think about like actual
same direction.
Yeah,
and somebody else does that, I'm just like, okay, it's coming the exact same
yeah, because if you think about actual ping pong, everyone's doing like the boop, boop. But no one's thinking about those crazy little, like, extra little, like, moves that would be, at least in 2D form, implemented in Pong.
Just before you hit, you move it up so it's moving while the ball or the little square hits.
Yeah, that little 4x4 pixel square, yeah.
It'll go up in a different, instead of going like, boop, boop, but if you go like this, it'll go, boop.
Yeah, and it would also legit go extra faster too, you know, so it'd be even harder to react to it as well. And honestly, depending on the AI for the game, like, especially these days, like, you can actually have, like, a certain difficulty, like, on, you know, the phone version and stuff like that, where, like, the AI will actually recognize shit like that, because, like, you could play as, like, you know, with a computer, but it would always do the same thing you're talking about. But instead of doing those, like, little tricks, like, you can now, like, these days, like, have, like, a emulated version on your phone, you know, with an app version where it can have different difficulty, to where it can actually do those little tricks and make it like you're playing with an actual player almost. Like, I mean, it can be pretty fun. I've done it before in the past. It's fun. Pong will never get old, honestly.
After Zelda life issues, I kind of got out of video games and tried to get back in.
Honestly, video games...
The computer game, what's the one with the big... that we used to play on the computer.
Oh, the mechs. Oh, dude, what, dude? Okay. I know what you're talking about. Oh, I've honestly for like off and on for like the last year been wondering what the fuck that game is, because I know what
the name, but I love that game.
Is it like Is it Mech Warriors or something like that? I don't even know. Like it's something like that.
You had the maze where you played each other, or you had the.
Yeah, I know exactly what the hell you're talking about. I just don't know the name of the game.
And you had to shoot out sections of the shield and
no, I know what you're talking about.
At you, and then wait until the time it just perfectly until the section of the shield you shot out, and you have to shoot it and get the guy in the center.
Dude, yeah, I know what game you're talking about, but honestly, oh my God.
It's something Riot or something LA.
Dude, you know, now that you're mentioning it is not gonna drive me fucking mad. It's gonna drive me mad right now, dude.
Like in RoboCop, you've seen RoboCop, right?
Yeah.
The movie. It was like
I seen the first two movies, you know, for sure a few times.
It was like the big robot that.
Yeah. No, it's like these big ass like mech suits and shit. Yeah.
It's like one of the big robots, and you're sitting, and he was like.
And each arm had like
that was a great game,
dude. Yeah, and each arm had like these cool ass fucking like weapons. Dude, I know what you're talking about. Oh my God, it's on, dude. That it's gonna annoy the fuck out of me It really is, because I know what you're talking about. I think about it. I legit...
LA or something like that.
You know what? Here, yeah. Actually, Future Cop Out... Let me look it up. Because honestly, I swear to fucking God, dude. I know what game we're talking about, but it's just been so long.
Oh, I'd love to play that game again.
Let me see here, like,
download games on the computer, but everything's just like,
it might be on Steam. Like, honestly, it might be on Steam now.
No, we can't load SimCity or Civilization or Age of Empire or anything like that. I'm just like, oh, this sucks.
Oh, wait, no. Yeah, there is a game called Future Cop LAPD. That's it! That is it! Oh my God, we found it! Yeah, dude, you nailed it! That was it! Oh my God, we fucking found it! Oh my God, this is it! Oh, dude, I recognize that! That's it! This is it! Dude, I recognize this fucking picture right here. Dude, I recognize the little mech guy right there. Yeah, that's it! That's it! Oh my God, we found it! Oh, dude, your memory's better than mine. I thought it was like Mech Warrior or some shit. Oh, dude, that's it!
Oh, we both talked it out. Just, what was that game? And we just came up with...
Oh, dude, here's the front of it. Oh, yeah, dude, I remember. Yep, that's it. That is fucking it right there, dude. That is it.
Yeah, badass
That's
robot.
Dude, that mech suit shit. Oh, yep, that's it. Oh, dude. Oh, dude, all these years, I forgot what the fuck that game was. And now, tonight...
I love that game. That's one of my favorite games.
Dude, it has to be on Steam.
Frogger. Well, they have to...
Frogger, dude, we have the CDs for that somewhere. I'm sure if we
don't work, computers are too new, even though they're... Like,
yeah, that's true. Dude, like I said, they might be on
old or something. They're too new to...
Well, like I said, they might be on Steam. Like, cause Steam is kind of like the big game platform where like you can buy a bunch of games and shit, and especially very old ones, because they get kind of like not really like remastered, but emulated so they can play on modern consoles and modern computers and stuff like that.
Yeah, they have to update the software.
Yeah, because Roller Coaster Tycoon 2? You know that one.
Tycoon.
Yeah, Tycoon. I don't know why. Dude, that's on Steam. That's on Steam, and I have it again.
City, Civilization.
Yep, those ones. Yep, they're on Steam. So, honestly, I guarantee you that game is on Steam. Oh, my childhood is going to come right the fuck back when I get this game. I bet it's like $5 on Steam or something.
Oh, I love the...
Dude, that game is so lit.
Oh,
man. I'm about to have my memories unleashed when I start playing that game.
I spent like weeks on Zelda.
Oh, yeah, the little Game Boy?
Not all at once.
Dude,
it was...
On the
The Nintendo. So it come up on your computer, you're running with little Zeldas, like little... like 5 pixels or something, and you see the arms going.
Right, yeah, his little arms going like.
You get the sword out, and you have to like slice the little bowls, and then you get the bigger stuff that comes at you, and then you get the big map, and you have to go around. And let's go to here, and you learn don't go to the volcano first. You want to go to the east.
Because that's where like Ganon is and shit. You don't want to fuck with him yet until you got the other. You have to go. Until you meet Ganon, like the volcanic temple, you have to go to the other temples and stuff like that.
Oh man, you had to go and you had to like swing across the vines and go through all this shit, go through the fire, and then you get to the big badass guy, which is this huge, like, flea-looking monster thing.
Yeah.
And it come up and you kept... it took me forever. You kept shooting at it, and it didn't do anything, and then I figured, it has a weak side. It's axe.
Yep. It's back.
Growing up, I'm just thinking, I remember that. Just like, my dad had his plaque. It said, I know your opponent's weak side. And it had the front of this knight, and he has like all this armor.
Right, yeah.
And then had the back side.
The back of him.
Armor, except for the ass. Was bare. Just wait a second. I could jump over this motherfucker.
And then kick his literal ass.
And you'd shoot him a couple of times in the ass, and you like...
You get stunned.
And turn around, start shooting. Jump back over him.
And start fucking him up. Yep, start messing his shit up.
You had to do it like about 10 times, and then finally, boom, you won the game. I'm just like, okay, shoot him in the ass. I think the game designers on that game must have been thinking about that.
They probably honestly were. Dude, I mean, like, man, game developers back in the day, they just don't make games like they used to. They're now just about loot boxes and, like, DLCs that are, like, $20 and all this bullshit, and the DLCs don't even give you things worth a dick. It's just, ugh. Games these
came out with the, what's that, Kung Fu,
Mortal Kombat?
Yeah.
Dude, Mortal Kombat's been going on for a long time.
I know.
Dude, that shit's always been banging. They literally made movies off of that.
Yeah, that's too many buttons for me.
Because there's all sorts of combo moves and all sorts of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just like...
That's why I love
smoking too much and drinking too much.
That's why I love games like Star Fox, because, like, there was combos and different things you could do, but it was very simple either way, because it's like, I mean, you didn't really have to do any of those. It was just basically like, you know, point and shoot type of things, you know, if you're a little R-wing and stuff like that. I mean, dude, Star Fox is fucking banging. I remember growing up a lot with the Nintendo 64, playing Star Fox 64.
Oh, and, they had the, Breakout.
Breakout.
Bing, doop, bing.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about, yeah.
You had a big brick wall.
Yeah, and you had to, like, kind of break it down a little bit by bit.
Yeah, you break it down. It was kind of like Space Invaders, you know.
Yeah.
Aliens. That's pretty good at that too. Frogger, I love Frogger. And this other one no one hears about, Space Harrier.
I only know about it because I think you might have talked about it. That was like
this guy's running along with this giant rocket.
Fuck you rocket cannon thing.
So you're shooting across this like, alien terrain.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty barren, but, you know, kind of like Mars, only had occasional, you know, had a bunch of mountains and occasional plants sticking up. And you'd have all this stuff coming at you. And you had to... Yeah, basically the whole idea is use
your fuck you cannon to destroy them.
Onto this giant rocket.
The giant fuck you rocket and just obliterate the fuck out of everything.
And you got too low, you had to start running, you slow down, and just everything like that. And just like, and it was a pretty simple pattern, just like, okay, just like, and you had these great big, like, puffball centipedes, worms, you know, just like a whole bunch of balls. Well, they weren't really puff balls, but a bunch of big balls. Some were puffy, some were slimy looking, or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you had these occasional things that were individuals that would come and shoot at you. But you had to sit there and...
Use your fuck you rocket to just, like, obliterate them.
And at the end of the rocket, you had a gun, so no matter where you're shooting...
You always would be, like, you know... like obliterating them and shit.
It's not like you're stationary and shooting.
You're always moving.
It's kind of like a new game instead of being stationary.
You were moving around and moving like on a platform.
And you had to shoot moving targets.
Yeah, because you're on like a platform and, you know, hitting moving targets on them.
I never thought about that before, but that's what really
it was like a platform game.
To that game was because instead of just sitting there like Gallagher, you know.
Right, yeah, where you were stationary in one spot, you actually, it was like one of those things where you moved around on like kind of a 2D map.
At you. In this game, it's like kind of 3D, everything's coming at you, but you're also going at them.
Yeah.
So it's like
one of those first games where we kind of implemented that kind of 3D element.
Yeah, instead of like the 2D where you just...
Okay, no, okay.
This was one where you're just like... hanging on to this... I think,
the fuck you rocket, basically. I'm nicknaming it the fuck you rocket.
Big rocket with the laser gun in the front. You're flying through
the fuck you cannon.
You get down, you have to start running really fast because you're hanging on to a rocket. Don't want to trip and fall, but you have to shoot all this shit coming at you, and then I'm just like, okay, I got the pattern down. So just like, okay, loop back. I'm just like nailed everyone every time.
Nice.
I love progress too. I was really good at that because I'm just like, okay, I only got a couple quarters left. Okay, I put a quarter in the Frogger, I can play for another 15 minutes, get another beer.
That reminds me, I need to go back to Ground Control, because from my understanding, apparently you can play the arcades there for free as long as you just...
Where's that?
Portland, downtown.
Nah.
It's right off the Mac station. Like, right off the Orange Line.
I like... another...
It's actually fucking pretty bad.
Favorite one, especially the bars, was golf.
Wait, like one of those, like, little mini-game golf things, and...
No, it was a video game, and... You'd set up your shot, and you had the ball.
Yeah.
And you was like...
Oh, one of those,
depending on if you do real soft, your ball will just like... Bing, 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 bing. But if you... And show your...
Right, yeah, I know, it's kind of go flying.
Popular back in the mid-'80s.
Huh. Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
A favorite bar game.
Oh, wasn't it like that one? Oh, I think I know what you're talking about, because I think they still have a more modern version of that game in some bars.
Your wind.
I actually think that Wichita has like a modern version of that game in their bar, if I remember correctly. Like, because I think because they have a few like little like gambling / arcade games in there, and
yeah,
I'm pretty sure one of them is one of those like more modern versions of the golf games you're talking about. I mean, it's a modern version of it, but not the exact same thing you're talking about, but pretty much the same.
Arrow, you know, you hook this way or that way, or...
Right, yeah, and it kind of shows you kind of where your ball goes, and it kind of goes... Yeah, like...
And then when you want to shoot... I mean, it had like the ball.
Right, yeah. Those games still exist. Like, they still have those. Yeah, the Wichita literally has like one or two of those, you know, over there, yeah.
Just go like... But if you're like going for the
hard one, you just go yeah, I know what you're talking about, yeah. Dude, I played that a few times. It can be pretty fun, honestly.
Yeah, I've played many games of that.
Yeah.
So you should get a tub to put the food in.
Actually, I'm gonna move that. I'm gonna actually eventually tonight or tomorrow move all that in the.
Oh, great. Coke.
Well, because eventually, yeah, that little fucking rat fuck, you know, is gonna eventually have to go into live chat where the peanuts are. Eventually. Because, goddamn, dude. It's driving me nuts.
I think he's living under here.
The last time I saw it was last night. He went over there. He's over here. He's in this area. By the garage door.
Okay, next time I come up with the...
I absolutely know for a fact...
I'm gonna get some of them big sticky traps.
I know absolutely for a fact that little fucker's over there. Hanging out in that area. So, that's why I have the live chat right there. In fact, I might, you know, like I said, I'm gonna probably move it over there, because...
The times I see him, he's going from the...
Well, because he's hanging out over here, he's got, like... That little fucker has a nest over here, and sometime between, like, you know, when we're both asleep, between, like, 4, 5, 6, 7... 9, 10, whatever the fuck, will come out, and yeah, we'll go over there, but, you know, maybe also over here, too, a little bit, some other shit, I don't know, like, obviously the little fucker...
Yeah, keep the area clean.
Well, yeah, I mean, luckily, for my shit's mostly just, like, random plastic nonsense, or just drinks.
Yeah, I'm just saying, get a...
So,
if you move the food in there, the rat's going to start going in there.
Well, not if,
it's
like...
Not like he's going to have a hard time, well, especially...
Well, if that door's closed, I mean, we can just keep it closed.
You can still go right through the kitty door.
The other door. I'll just have that closed. I mean, because obviously the rat has never left his fucking garage. I mean, every time...
He has food, he has water.
Well, once it's all gone, the only source of food is going to be right...
Here, you know, it's like, okay, everyone's away. I'll come out here and do my thing.
The only source of food that's most immediately accessible for that little fucker would be those nuts right over there at that live trap. So, if food's gone here... Well, that...
Here,
oh my god!
And there, and he has water... And he has
what
all kinds of stuff right here.
Fuck I am saying is once that's just moved, all it's gonna have is that. So at some point, eventually that little fucker's...
Get one of them, well, not that big, but just like a little...
There's one over there, and once that little fucker's in that lap trap, I will put that little guy in there.
If it's empty?
It is.
If you have like a...
It is.
Put the food in there so the rat... can't get to the food.
Tyler and I...
And then put out the traps, and then he'll have to go to the traps instead of getting
At this point, I'm aware of that.
I've seen him jump out of here.
I know!
Just saying.
That is not even a day old, okay? So he has not entered that fucking thing. So.
Oh, I bet you he'll love the fast food.
What? Okay.
I'm just.
Tyler and I got drunk and came up with the most cursed Rule 34 ever. What is it? I don't want to take out this rat. At this point, I want to just stare at this little beady fucker's eyes and just, like, release him at, like, one of these fields or some shit. And just be like, you've tortured me long enough, you little bastard. And you know what? I could kill you right now. You are in the hands of a god being in comparison to you, little rat.
They'll chew the fuck out of your fingers.
Well, that's why I would hold it so it's...
I don't have rat experience, but I do have mouse experience. They can bite, like...
I know this! I'm aware. Like, you know the fucking Viet Cong used rats as, like, torture implements. So, I know how that, you know, I know... There's stories about that, just saying.
Yeah, I've seen this. Oh, just, like, one of these... creepy guy got wronged, so he's like killing off all the mafia people. And this one guy, he like chained up in a pipe in the basement. And he like wanted information, and just like, okay, he just like, I forget, like a knife or something, slices him a couple of times, and all the rats, you know, he's all tied up.
Because they're probably all hungry and shit, yeah.
It's in like a New York City or Pittsburgh, somewhere like that. You know, industrial sewer.
Chicago, maybe.
And all the rats just like...
Yeah.
Start eating them and just like...
I mean, honestly, if you think about it, like, I mean, it was like that in World War I. I was just starting to realize, like, World War I, like, one of the bigger casualties wasn't really just, like, you know, people getting shot, but was, like, infections, rats, stuff like that. That's what really killed people, you know, on the Western Front. Like, I mean, it was basically rats, because, like, on No Man's Land, and, like, you know, in the medical tents and stuff.
War, most people died of disease, gangrene, whatever.
Even in the Civil War, like, more people died due to disease than the actual battles.
Yeah. You sit there for days just dying on the battlefield, and the animals would peck at you, and just like, get away, you know, be there for days.
Yeah.
That would suck.
Well, like...
modern warfare, nice nuclear bomb, boom, okay, it's over.
Well, there was this book, I forgot the name of the book, but it was about the Civil War, and it was about, like, the perspective of a kid, I think, on the Union side. I forgot the name of the book, honestly. I read it in 8th grade. I really wish I remembered the book, because it was a good book. But, there was one scene in the book that actually kind of sticks with me to this day, where a soldier in this kid's regiment, you know, the protagonist of the story, where he got shot in the gut, one of his best friends, he got shot in the gut, and before, you know, the rest of his regiment, and, you know, and he, you know, linked up with them, you know, after the battle was over, he was next to him and saying, hey, you know, do you want me to drag you back? And he's like, no, actually, do you think you can take my boot off for me, please? And he did. And he's like, well, do you think you can set my rifle up by my foot? You know, like where the buttstock and the trigger is, you know, where his toe is. And he did. And he's like, thanks, man. And like, it basically, the equivalent of that, essentially, is like, look, I ain't gonna, you know, be able to really make it, so just go on without me, essentially. And as he was walking back, then he hears, like, a distinct shot of a musket rifle. And it's because his friend was shot in the gut. He knew because of, like, infection, surgery, you know, like, especially with a musket round, if you're shot in the gut, you're just dead. Yeah. So he already knew. So he just, like, instead of dying a miserable death in the hands of the Confederates, you know, because they were starting to, you know, organize their advance, you know, he just took his life. You know, and honestly, in a way, it's more...
Give me a grenade, pull the pin, lay on it. So when they roll you over...
Dude, I have seen... Dude, you know, honestly, Look, I'm just gonna be honest. I've seen that shit in the Ukraine war now. That shit is fucked, dude. to do that is you will still survive that. There was a kid, like a Russian kid in a trench that did that, like that got a grenade dropped on him from one of these Ukrainian little mini drones that would have these grenades attached to him. His literal entire face was just blown the fuck off, and he was still alive. And it's just like, I mean, you know, like, honestly, like, you know, even you say that, but, like, honestly, you can still survive that, and it's kind of fucking, that's kind of scary to think about, honestly.
You know, people get shot, and just like, oh, they're just like, oh, I'm dead. No.
It's not like that. I mean, unless you literally got, like, a headshot from a bullet, like...
Yeah, unless you get...
Yeah, unless something like that, no.
You might be dead, but just like...
I mean, honestly, yeah. But you're still gonna realize and see shit for a minute, you know, even though you're technically dead at that point. It's war's hell. I mean, because it's kind of fucking freaky to realize, like, you know, how many people probably, you know, have lived, even though they're technically dead, you know, for however long, you know, in these wars, and and all they fucking hear, is just that chaos. It's just like, that's some shit that, you know, it's kind of freaky to think about in a way. I wouldn't want to be in that situation.
Neither would I. Yeah, I got an emergency fist.
I kind of feel you with that a little bit.
Okay, so out of the way.
War on Trenchfoot got more people than fighting did. Yeah, that's what I was meaning from earlier. You know, it's just with Civil War, World War One, yeah, and of the whole idea of rats too, because Trenchfoot, guess what attracted that? Rats. And guess how a lot of those men died from Trenchfoot, because rats started eating them. Like, there's actually a movie, it's a horror film, actually. I forgot the name of it. I'm forgetting some of these, you know, really good, like, kind of war-esque, you know, books or movies, but one of them, it's a more recent horror film, but it's a World War One based one. And a lot of the horror is based off of legitimate accounts of PTSD / like, kind of mystical, like, accounts that soldiers from World War One would have. Like, one account was where one soldier saw, like, you know, men who came back from the dead, but, like, literally having barbed wire, like, you know, engraved and / kind of, you know, but acting like snakes and kind of, like, slithering around them and stuff like that. Like, these are kind of things that some soldiers in World War One have, like, reported on seeing. Obviously, it's just their brain fucking with them because of the shock, trauma, the horror, and the depravity of the fucking war and all that shit. But, like, their brain, you know, when they're looking at no man's land, sees shit like that. And to think of that, just like what some people saw on the front lines, it's like, even though it's just their brain making that shit up, but, like, nonetheless, it's like the horrors of, like, seeing your own friends, like, having, like, basically the equivalent of, like, boas, you know, that are just these, you know, just lengths of barbed wire, just, like, in and out of them and all this other shit, just rats, just eating them, you know, alive, even though they've been long dead, like, all that shit. It's a horrifying fucking thing to think about. The Great War is, like, one of the most, like, disgusting horrors that humanity has ever fucking done to each other. I mean, fundamentally. That and Fallujah, by the way. For at least from a modern sense. Fallujah is a fucking insane battle.
Long-ass movie. Season of the Fall is a great movie.
Season of the Fall?
Yeah, these pioneers, there's 3 brothers.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Grew up in, like, Bumblepuck, Montana, like 1900 or so. Mm-hmm. And they all went off to World War One. That was brutal.
Oh, yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I think I've seen that movie a few times.
Like, stuck on the barbed wire and getting shot to pieces.
Yeah. Yeah, no, because honestly, legitimately, that shit kind of happened because, like, I mean, not legitimately, but, like, I mean, at least especially from what some soldiers have seen because of, like, their trauma, well, basically, at least, what is now PTSD, but at least at the time was shell shock, like, a lot of the trauma and the shell shock and a lot of the things that people saw, like, I mean, especially at least, for the first few battles, after a certain time, that will fuck with your head. Yeah, so when you're looking out in no man's land, and you're looking out in the trenches, and you see all these fucking bodies and all that shit, and all this other stuff, I mean, it's just like, that fucks with you. That will just fuck with your head.
And stinking and just,
oh, yeah, dude. Yeah, oh, my, dude. I mean, it would literally fuck with your head, and not just for, like, that moment, but for the rest of your life. I mean, that's honestly why we understand why PTSD is such a thing, because there's so many old videos and old documentations of shell shock that eventually became to what we know as the PTSD, because of all these men that survived the war that literally were just fucked, were scarred and just broken. And just were, in some cases, just forgotten about and just used as documentation. And that's all we know about some of these dudes. It's just like, it's fucking freaky in a way. It's just like to know that, like, some of the memories of some of these dudes, just the fact that they were just kind of like researched, to understand what shell shock was because they happened to survive the war. And
yeah, I want to know about a band of brothers.
Oh, yeah, I know about, it's 101st Airborne. E Company, right?
Yeah. I want to know if I'm related, but, well, not genetically, obviously. But
biologically?
There's this one guy, Blythe, in there.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
He freaked out. He was, like, sitting there in the hospital, just like...
shell-shocked, and, PTSD, yeah.
Majorly fucked up.
Yeah, he's having, like, a, major PTSD episode, yeah. I think I know you might be talking about. But honestly, I know, at least as like, broadly an Anglo-Saxon name, Blythe is actually not necessarily an uncommon name. At least as an Anglo-Saxon name, specifically. So... I mean, I wouldn't necessarily be surprised if it's just coincidence, but... I mean, also considering the family research that we do have, at least on our pop's side, I mean... Or at least my grandpa's side, I mean... I feel like we probably would have known that, if it was in there. But I never...
Well,
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess we'll have to see.
It's not all complete. I wish I could get on.
I mean, I suppose if we...
now I don't have shit to do. I'm sitting around bored watching old crime,
Why not go into a public library? I mean, they have, like, internet access. I mean, you might as well fucking, be like, hey, why not, look some shit up or something. Because honestly, like, sometimes when I'm bored,
I take these books down to the library and see what I can find out now.
No, seriously.
Internet.
Yeah, no, for real.
I'd like to be able to do that here rather than have to go all the way downtown.
I don't know. Library, the new library is actually kind of lit. It's actually pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
It's nice.
I went in there for something. I'm just like, oh, this is cool. I need something over here. And you guys just like, okay, here you go. Here's how you're doing. It's like, oh, like a tax return or something like that.
Yeah.
Let's go down and check it out.
Might be a emergency situation myself.
Not being able to sleep for more than an hour or two.
Well, she ain't too fucked up. She's just at least sleeping it off.
When you walk in there, you should go just outside the gate by the garbage barrel. The big gray one.
There's a little hole right here.
Well, I don't walk that way, but...
I'm lazy.
2 more steps, you have to open the gate. You're not pissing where you walk. Just saying.
Woo-hoo. What'd you get over here? him, huh? That's how it is.
You just want to be alone so you can chomp fleas, huh?
What the hell?
You need to constantly keep up our flea treatments for that guy. He goes outside, he brings the fleas in.
Well, I mean, the whole house needs to be fucking flea bomb for one. I literally showered him and gave him a flea treatment the other day, and he's actually kind of covered with more of them now. So it's just like, I mean...
Yeah, I nuked the room, and... So
the whole house needs to be nuked, not just one room. That's the thing. I mean, it's like, that's why we need to buy more of the flea bombs. And also the cats need it, too. So, I mean, Thursday is my day off. Thursday's my day off. We're going to PetSmart. We're going to get some kitty things, and then one for him, and then, more bombs.
I got spray for the kitties, so it's very hard to spray them.
No, I mean like the fucking Frontline Plus shit. No, I mean like the Frontline Plus shit. That's like the long-lasting stuff. I don't mean like some temporary spray shit, because that ain't really doing much. When it comes to that. So that's what I mean.
Yeah, the stuff you.
Yeah, the Frontline, the last time I gave it to Zukov, he had
instead of having spraying with the mist, the cats are just like, what the fuck? And they're gone.
I mean, with the...
It's a bit easier, because now they just sit there, pick up the... because I spray myself. Just to keep the fleas off me, mainly the legs. And I'll pick up the spray bottle.
The thing is, the only way you're going to get rid of them is that if the entire house and all the animals at once are hit. Like this thing, you can't hit just one room or just a few animals at a time. All of them have to be hit at once. That's why Thursday needs to be the fucking day. Cause I get paid that day, I'll literally pay for all that shit. I don't give a fuck. This year's the year apparently where fleas are making their comeback and raising hell. So
yeah,
last year was fine. I mean, they weren't really a problem last year. Yeah, for a few years there, it wasn't really that big of a deal. But now this year, they're all back, with a hellstorm, and also fucking mosquitoes too. Mosquitoes are back worse than ever. Literally, it's statistically it's 5 to 8 times worse than every other year and shit, because they have not sprayed down when it comes to all these. Yeah, they haven't sprayed down when it comes to pesticides, stuff like that, or insecticides. So a lot of mosquitoes, fleas, all this other shit is way worse this year in comparison to previous years, because the local counties in the area just didn't spray down in last year. So now we're just all fucked of all this shit.
Spray it down. It's environmentally conscious. You don't want to nuke everything. But
the thing is, you can environmentally do so. There's chrysanthemum plants. There's environmentally safe alternatives where it works just as well and doesn't fuck the environment up and stuff. Citrus and stuff like that works really well.
Pest management.
Chrysanthemum plant, chrysanthemum oil extract works excellent when it comes to insecticide, and that's organic and very natural because it literally comes from a fucking flower. So I mean, there's an organic, friendly, environmentally safe insecticides, and I'm assuming at least those would be being used, or at least hopefully, because that wouldn't fuck the entire environment up, and it wouldn't harm other aspects of it as well, like fish and stuff like that when it comes to aquifers or water.
Parts cultural, keeping your food in a bin instead of where the rats can get into it.
Yeah, because things like chrysanthemum plant oil and stuff like that ain't gonna harm fish, humans, stuff like that, but it kills insects, kills fleas, kills wasps, kills things like that.
Even before we just had cats, with Scooter.
We need to get in our cat, by the way.
And
a young cat like Bandit that can hunt all these rats. And not get killed by a fucking coyote.
We had much rats with Bandit and let them out every night.
Well, the other neighborhood cats have been doing a pretty decent job for the ones outside. It's just the one in the garage that we need to deal with.
In fact, I've noticed all the other cats in the neighborhood come here.
Yeah. The other Siamese kitty is actually kind of starting to warm up to me a little bit. Not quite yet, but it's starting to get there.
Yeah, I've seen them. And there's another one that's...
So cross-eyed, actually.
The other morning, pacing back and forth.
Is it the big black fluffy one?
No,
There's a new one that's big black and fluffy.
Yeah, it's...
Looks like Cleo, but super fluffy.
The cat keeps coming over here. I see him pacing back and forth across the deck outside my sliding glass doors.
Huh. Probably smelling the other kitties in there. Being like, what's going on here?
Is that Zukov? Then suddenly, because I see a big shadow, I'm just, what was that? I'm just like, it must have been Zukov in the backyard.
No, he's usually hanging out in my room for the most part.
Okay, and then I noticed him just like, because I thought it was Zukov in the backyard, only it was the cat walking across the back deck in front of the door, because look, my perspective was backyard. I wasn't thinking like right outside the door. I'm just like, okay, that's a cat. We never had rat issues as long as Bandit was here. I don't know how many rats and birds or whatnot I picked up off of the back.
Well, I don't know I made it because of coyote problems and because the county is a little dumb.
Yeah, see, I want to make...
Like, the only way that you can legally, at least in our county, you want us fucked, like, at least because we're in suburbia, legally, the only way that we could technically get away with killing a fucking coyote here is if we got, like, exception, like, form or slip or whatever the fuck, or, like, some exception license by the sheriffs, basically. And honestly, like, goddamn fucking well, they ain't gonna do that, so it's like, you're just kind of fucked.
If you around that, you could put out poison, but I'm not... That completely fucks with it.
Well, I could do that with lead, but it's not necessarily legal. That's the problem!
I'm not a...
Like, if we were literally in, like, Corbett or Damascus or some shit, I could legally fucking shoot these bastards, but I can't where I'm at.
You can't shoot where we're at.
What?
You can't shoot where we're at because we're in a residential area.
Because we're technically in a suburban zone. So, like, because rural areas... I've literally looked this up when it comes to Oregon law about this. At least when it comes to Oregon law specifically, and in rural areas, technically within certain jurisdictions, as long as it is on a property, pretty much you're okay to do that. Or as long as it's in an area that is not shooting prohibited. Like the areas that we go to when we go shooting and stuff like that, because those are outside of those zones. And all that shit. So it's like, I mean, as long as we're in those type of areas, like in rural areas, at least in Oregon specifically, you're fine. But like, beyond that though, there are, at least in my opinion, certain elements where they're kind of stupid fucking restrictions. Like, I mean, cause like...
certain years.
I mean, I'll get it. Like, I mean, when it comes to like, if you want to shoot a fucking coyote or something...
$5 a coyote.
Yeah.
Oh, they prefer $5 a coyote skin.
Sure, yeah.
Like, skin the coyote and leave the body there and bring in the skin.
I mean, that just seems a little fucking, like, eh. But...
The picture game people didn't want to deal with a whole dead coyote. They wanted to just, okay, you gotta...
Well, I mean, just fucking, like, use some... I'm sure you can repurpose some meat for something and all this other shit. I mean... But whatever. I mean, either way, that's why I'm a little about it. I'm sure you can easily repurpose the rest of the coyote.
The meat that you left there from the last dead coyote you left, and they won't be eating the farmer's livestock.
Yeah, honestly, but I mean, that's why at least
supposedly now we got wolves.
In Oregon? Oh yeah. Oh, that...
Montana.
In Montana? Oh, in Montana? Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, we're talking about reintroducing wolves into Yellowstone Park area.
Oh, you're talking about that time where you met those wolf puppies way before they even...
I'm just thinking, why? They're already here.
Well, the thing...
me, I seen them.
Well, I mean, the reason...
Like
well, the thing is...
Bigfoot, and everyone says, oh, it might have been this, it might have been that. I'm just like...
No, it would, yeah.
You saw a Bigfoot.
Well, the thing is, like, the reason why...
That was a Bigfoot.
Yeah, well, the thing is, like, the reason why they were introduced is because, like, they well, at least for a couple reasons. Like, one, like, the population of wolves were, like, so minimal that they didn't even have really a record of them. Like, I guarantee you that wolf mother and those pups were not, you know, like, on the radar of the park rangers or, you know,
no, well, they've obviously been there.
Yeah, they've been there, but obviously they weren't on the radar of, like, anyone there necessarily.
Tiger.
Yeah, like, I mean, and also, like, I'd say...
Not quite so much.
Yeah, and also at the same time...
They just went into hiding.
Well, also it's... Well, I mean, yeah, because they're skittish. Like, wolves generally want to avoid humans, for the most part. They don't really like interacting with people. Yeah, so they're going to be skittish. Yeah, so, like... And,
well,
that's the other... That's kind of the second point. And also the third part is also, like... I mean, because there's such a tiny population that they kind of think is approximate, you know, overall, that's why they were trying to reintroduce them anyway in the first place, because they only had kind of an approximate of how many were there in the first place, and they obviously, because they're natural and native to the area, they want to reintroduce them back to restore the natural environment and stuff. So, yeah, I mean...
Dogs came about, just like...
Yeah.
Okay, you know, they kept hanging around people and just like, oh, throw out some meat and you get the crowd of wolves that...
Yeah. Like the runts and like the omegas of like wolf packs and lone wolves, you know, yeah, who are...
Yeah, like feeding squirrels or so. Eventually they come up and just say,
yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, eventually they'll come up. Yeah, like how Zukov is, you know, like, you know what, here, I can't even prove it. Like how Zukov is.
Here's lots of meat left on this bone.
Yeah, look at him. Look at this little furry little bastard.
When somebody else would come around.
Yeah, look at this little, yeah, look at the ancestor of the wolf coming out of him. Look at him. Who's a little wolf? Yes, you is. Come here. You gotta get closer, you little butt. Oh my god!
After the wolf, you'd be like, whatever that is, taco or...
That's a turkey.
Turkey.
Or chicken.
Like,
chicken or turkey?
I'm gonna eat you.
Oh.
But then they learned, and just like, well, if we don't eat the people, they keep giving us food, we don't have to hunt, it's cool, we'll hang out.
Here, be on my lap, baby. Be on my lap. Aw. You little lap pup.
Oh, that whoop scared the shit out of me.
Aw. Who's a little lap pup? And then you got this little dork, who's just a little pup.
That's one of those times, just like...
Don't be smack my face.
I think I might die in the most horrible way, be eaten by a wolf. Chris was doctor the other day, and Chris were sitting there talking about like death experience. The doctor just like, yeah, you get this black tunnel and you see this light coming at you. Oh yeah, I've had a couple of near-death experiences, like black, on my side. 2 lights coming at me, and then I realized, oh, I better steer out of the way.
Oh my god.
Number of my near-death experiences.
You little butt. Oh my god.
And it's what I got drunk as shit skiing up in when the first times I went skiing, it's like up in Wisconsin. Going from Ames.
If I could tell if cats take a turns clawing at my door.
Let
them in.
We got all drunk and stoned as fuck. And it was like, okay, it's like 10 o'clock, let's go home. And this was like...
I would have just camped out overnight if I was getting stoned drunk as fuck at that point. I would have been like, you know what, fuck it, we'll wait until sunrise.
Stay there, parking your car in the parking lot, get hassled by the cops, it's freezing. It's like, oh, let's go.
Well, I mean, better than drinking and driving, I mean, I'll at least say. I mean, I'd rather fucking, like... Because if you're taking a nap in your car, at least, you know, they can't really fuck on you over anything that much. It's like, what? Oh, I'm loitering? Oh, my bad.
I remember just like, oh, wake up, and my best friend, he just like...
What the fuck? I have scratches and shit all the way up here.
And just like, are you okay to drive? And just like... I might want to, you've had a good nap, might want to pull over and let you drive. They're just like, oh, where are
I'm glad these situations have never happened when I was a kid.
He's just like, oh, where are we? Are we in Iowa yet? And was like, I'm not sure I've been asleep for the last 20 miles or so. He's just like, okay, I better talk.
It's like, alright, fuck you. I'm taking the wheel.
This isn't like Oregon. It's like, you're sitting there and it's just like a straight road.
How the fuck did they open my door? Good kitties. Good kitties.
There, so you can like go to sleep as long as you don't like lean over and turn. As long as you keep your hands on the steering wheel, you can drive forever.
Dude, the dozen cats that my friend has in Alabama literally opened his door, and now they're all like terrorizing him. He has a dozen of them. One of them's named Edward Scissorkitten. And
Like
the cats are evolving, they are learning. That is great. I love it. Good kitties. Good kitties. My telepathic energy of telling them to let them in is working.
Oh,
good.
Let them in, not out.
Yeah, well, yeah, because he's like, because he was saying that you can hear him clawing at his door, and apparently they opened the door somehow and they got in. And I'm assuming they were climbing on top of each other and opened the door, and MechWarrior hasn't had a good title in 10 years.
Jump like you're gonna believe.
Wait, MechWarrior? No, oh wait, are you talking about the game that we were trying to remember earlier? Because we were talking about Future Cop LAPD. It was this game. This is a game that we were talking about from way earlier.
Here next to the fridge, like this. You get out a kitty treat, set it on top of the fridge, and this cat would jump up on his shoulders, walk across, get the kitty treat.
Aww.
A cat.
Smart kitty.
That high.
Aww. Well, cats can jump really high. Cats can jump like 5 times their fucking like height, and sometimes.
Well, I know they could at least jump this high.
I know rats can at least jump like 4. I know rats can at least jump like 2 feet.
Curly and Meg's anywhere.
Well, baby kitty, remember her? She literally was able to jump so high that she was able to climb the fucking ceilings.
Trust me, I know.
She was a fucking possessed ass fucking cat.
Yeah,
I can't believe, honestly.
All the time, like one time, we had her locked in here. This was before the kitty door.
Yeah.
We open the door. I'm just like, okay, where's the cat? Where's the cat? And Chris is right behind me, so the cat wouldn't get out.
The chat is not working. Yeah, it is. I can see it.
I'm just like, and I'm leaning over, and the cat like.
YouTube might be just censoring you.
Up my arm, leaped.
Because YouTube sucks.
Krista's boob.
Just a lack of better words, just the boob.
I was bending over.
No, I know what you mean.
Standing right behind.
I remember this because I think I was at school. No, I remember this because I think I was at school when I came home. You were like, both of you were fucked up.
And
like,
this was at night, so it must have been when you woke up.
Yeah, I think I think it might have been when I woke up.
Shredded up my arm, up Krista's boob and her arm too. Because she was kind of waiting at my back. So it got like her hand, her boob, her shoulder, and literally leaped, like, from the door there, like almost to the sliding glass door. Trying to get her some more, and she went up in the corner of the room, and she got halfway across. Then she like zipped up the corner, halfway.
I know. I mean, I remember the story.
Across the ceiling before she finally fell, and she hit the ground, and boom, gone. And just like, shit.
Yeah, I mean, I remember the story. And and also there was the one time where she was in that bathroom, like down the hall.
Oh yeah, I think that was the same night.
I think so, because I think that's why I remember, because I think I was awake for a little bit of that. Because I think before, y'all got her in there, I think I went to bed finally, because I think I think y'all took a break for a moment, because you got her in there, in the laundry room, and y'all kind of took me to bed, and y'all tried to finish. I don't know what the fuck you were all trying to do, but you know.
She threw her to the bathroom, and then finally Yeah, that was a nightmare too. We finally
Honestly, you want to know what I really can't believe?
A towel, and she was like pissing and shitting everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm trying to pet her and chill her out. She's just like,
Oh, poor baby. Man, you know what I really can't believe? It's like, back when I was at, like, that summer church camp thing, like, I can't believe she just, like, was just dead so suddenly. And her neck was limp. Like, I honestly kind of wonder whatever happened to her. Like, she was a fucking weirdo and crazy cat, but, like, I mean, you know, like, I always had a soft spot for her, because I pitied that kitty. I really kind of had a, yeah.
She was very feral, but...
She was, I mean, she really was a feral cat, but, I mean,
I'm sorry for her.
Yeah. I just, you know, because when I came back, and, because, you know, when I came back, it was, like, around the time when she had those 3 kittens, you know, and I think those neighbors, you know, before they moved out, like, you know, they had all 3 of them, I think, at that point, because they were hanging out in their backyard.
Yeah, she got killed. She was found dead right there, which I'm not sure if they had something to do about it or not.
I don't think so, honestly. I mean, I just
say I think their dog got her. It's because she was a very protective mom.
Yeah.
And I think one of her kitties wandered into the yard, and she went to protect it from the dog. And I think the dog got her, and I think the neighbor just threw her over the fence.
Yeah, because I feel like it's probably what happened, and maybe
her neck was different. You know, her head was just like all
limp.
Wobbly and...
Man, yeah, because, yeah, and I think, yeah, because it just kind of sucks, you know, because, you know, like, in a weird way, I feel like she had, at least, you know, a few more years in her and stuff. I mean, because at least, you know, from what I understand, didn't they keep at least one of those kittens? And then, you know, the other...
those. Well, the neighbors got one, and then they took the other 2.
And they adopted them.
And they said, oh, we'll take them to a no-kill shelter. And I gave them 2 of the kitties, and I'm just like, there's a 3rd one around here somewhere. And I'm just like, oh, we would...
Hey!
Took up. That's a rat. Go get it. Then they said, oh, we might have the 3rd kitten here. And it's like, okay. And then the bitch next door came over. You need to get that cat fixed. You know, so it doesn't have any more kitties. It's not going to have any more kitties.
It's dead.
It's a feral cat.
And also dead.
It's like, you need to get it fixed or it doesn't get pregnant again. And
also, like, the dude was kind of chill, but yeah, she was always kind of like a NIMBY, dude. Yeah, she always had such a NIMBY attitude about different stuff.
Yeah, she was a Karen.
Yeah, she was a Karen. I mean, she wasn't like a hardcore Karen, but she really had a Karen mentality a little bit. The guy was kind of chill. He never really come out and do anything.
The guy's just like, just like, don't worry about it. It's just like, well, we don't want any more kitties around here. You need to have her fixed. I'm just like, she's not going to have any more kitties. Are you going to get her fixed? I'm just like, no, that's the dead cat. We have the fixed cat inside.
Yeah, all the other cats are fixed, you know, are inside, so problem solved, ain't it?
And then after that, I got Chewy, because Scooter was all lonely.
Yeah. Well, no, she was around but when Baby Q was still around. Yeah.
And of course, we had like Megas and Cleo. Yin and Yang were one of the first ones. We had Megas and Cleo. Yeah, I think we had them first, and we had...
Yeah, Yin and Yang were the first ones.
Yeah, then we had 2 others, which I took to the pound to get adopted.
Yeah.
And then there was Curly. And then the other 3 kitties. And then, I can't believe what Scooter took on. It must have been...
That big-ass orange cat that was here for a while?
No, it looked just like Miss Hess. And that was a huge-ass fucking cat. You know, it was like the size of this bag with a tail and a head.
Damn.
That was a big-ass cat. And I remember it was out there, Scooter walked out there.
It's found our splinter. God damn it.
The cat hissed at him. And I'm just like, oh shit, Scooter's about ready to get his ass torn apart. Yeah.
But yeah, Scooter was like kind of a little bit of a Chad.
Like Miss Hiss only this size. And Scooter looked at him, hissed back, the other cat hissed back, and Scooter tore into that cat.
Yeah, of course, because...
Well, he didn't actually get to tear into that cat. He just like, crap! He jumped at him just like, oh, crap. Our cat's going to get killed by this other cat, and the other cat just like, boom, gone, never seen it again. It's like, okay, I'm out of here.
Yeah, because you got taught a lesson.
I never knew Scooter had it in him.
Yeah, because, I mean, honestly, Scooter always had, like, that little bit of, like, an alpha fucking, like, you know, kind of, like, Chad bro move, you know, a little bit in him. I mean, yeah, like, because I always saw in him a little bit, like, he never really would show it. He was always, like, a humble, like, kitty about it. Like, he would always, like, be, like, kind of the king a little bit, but he would always be so humble about it, in a sense.
He was the benevolent...
Yeah.
Ruler, you know.
Benevolent.
Every time we got to do Kitty, he'd kind of like show
him around a little bit, yeah. He was always, you know, that type of cat.
And then it was Cleo, and now, who knows?
He used to be Bandit for a while there, but, yeah, I mean...
Bandit came in.
Fuck. Man, this fucking Splinter.
I can't believe... I mean, you used to let Scooter out. Miss Hiss was out all the time.
Scooter's up to Andrew Tate. Nah, dude, he was not an Andrew Tate fan.
Went out all the time. You know, Bandit went out, you know, finally.
Well, it's because, like, honestly, over time, there was, like, a kind of a slow but sure, like, kind of coyote population that kind of, you know, morphed in here over time.
I think before it took them taking out the row of trees and extending the street into the pasture there. I don't know why, but I guess that attracted coyotes for some reason.
Probably gave more of an area for, like, different rodents and different things for them to eat.
A better area before. I guess maybe they didn't want to go beyond the trees. And if I remember, I think I seen 3 coyotes. I've been thinking back on this. I think I seen 3 coyotes when we first moved here. We had no cats or anything.
Well, I know for sure there are at least, you know, are like, you know, between 3 to 4 of them, because, like, I know former coworkers that live in the area that have seen a few of them before, you know, and also apparently there used to be like at least like 5 of them that were hanging out in the old Safeway parking lot, you know, a couple months back. So they make their area around here. Like there's at least a few of them for sure.
And where in the perfect spot for him to live would be under a back deck.
If that's the case, and buckshot wouldn't be too easy. Or it wouldn't be too hard, actually. Besides, who's going to fucking know us at that point?
Yeah, we got I mean, there's too much activity here.
Yeah. That's for sure.
You think about it, this house has pretty much 24/7 activity.
From all sorts of different shit, yeah. Yeah, they really mean
the critters and the people, and especially in the past, you know.
Fucking old ass splinters.
And there's no set time schedule, so all the wild critters are probably just like, you know, most houses are just like, okay, it's like 10, 11 o'clock, we can go check out this place, and we're safe here until like about 5 or 6 in the morning. But around here, it's just like, who knows?
Yeah.
In fact, I came out one night, and this cop was down there, and she's just, I guess it was like a stolen car or something that was abandoned across the...
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, I was actually outside that night. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, there's a cop. I come out, start talking to her. I'm just like, oh, what's up? And just like, oh, it's apparently a stolen car is got abandoned here. which I hadn't seen it there earlier. I'm just like, yeah, that's right after my back went down. I'm just, just.
Now I know what you're talking
I
about.
can't sleep very long, so usually every like 3-4 hours or so, I'm out here having a smoke. See what's going on. And just, it's probably a pretty good neighborhood watch. And it's like, oh yeah, I guess so.
I mean, considering it's a dead-end street, it ain't really, like, and everyone in the neighborhood kind of knows each other for the most part. I mean, like, yeah, it ain't really that, like, hard to figure out, like, what's going on. And also, like, I mean, considering how I tend to stay pretty late, I mean, I can pretty
I could tell anyone driving down the street, and it's like, that person...
Or just walking up and down. Like, honestly, I know in the past... I don't know. I don't think so anymore, but I know in the...
anymore.
Well, I know in the past there used to be, like...
I know everyone's car.
Well, yeah, well, hold on. Like, I mean, I know in the past, like, a few years back, there used to be, like, a homeless guy that would, like, rummage for cans, and would go up and down our street before, and there's times where I would let Zukov out, and he would happen to be outside, and Zukov officer would go check him out, and I would be like, hey, sorry, my dog's just checking you out. He's very friendly. He's like, oh, no worries, man. I'm just checking out cans, opening them up, being suspicious. I'm like, well, as long as you're not, just going on anyone's property and just checking for cans, I don't think, as far as I care, I don't care. So, whatever.
Not much here.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, there aren't really much up here in the first place, but he's like, alright, no worries, man. And I was like, I picked up my dog, because obviously he was just, not wanting to listen, so I just literally picked his ass up and just went home, just went back in, back inside, and he just kind of kept doing his thing, and, nothing happened from that, so, I mean, honestly, like, I know there's, like, enough activity.
It sucked that 4th of July. I came home, I had, like, some ground blooms and some Roman candles and a couple other...
Wasn't that the one time where I was shooting Roman candles and I copped turned the corner while I was literally shooting Roman candles? Because that was kind of funny. I was shooting them, and those Roman candles were literally hitting the cop's hood. Dude, I love that. I was kind of doing some anarchism and fucking the pigs a little bit. Be like, hey, you want to roll camo on the car hood? Boo! 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 Well, you know what? I probably shouldn't do this, actually. Stick straight up. I look up, there's a fucking dry tree, with dry-ass branches. I'm like, maybe not. Let me stick it down. The fucking, last few balls start just bouncing up and going back on the cop's hood. I'm just like, you know what? I can't win on this. So I just kind of said, fuck, I just pointed straight back at the cop. I was like, you know what? I can't win over this. Fuck it. And once it was over, I stuck it over to the side, and he just, like, literally came out and just did this whole, like... that's actually technically illegal firework, right? Remember, he gave me the lecture, and I'm just sat there just kind of like, yeah. You don't got it anymore, right? No, sir, I do not have any more. Good. Yeah, so.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh, there's Roman candles and ground blooms.
Gotta disagree with you, my mom.
I'm gonna set those up, after I left Christmas at 4th of July. I'm just, come home. I have a few things I could set off. In the past, this neighborhoods used to be lit up with a mortar.
Well, yeah, because of our old-ass neighbors that used to be here for a while. Like, especially the ones right next door. I don't know whatever happened to him. Like, I think there was a little while where I used to see the guy.
The guy's down there that's with all the cars out front and everything.
The Gambler 500 guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, no, I know him at this point.
And, before they put...
He's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, he is. I like that guy.
He's awesome.
I hung out with him and, had a few beers and smoked some herbs with him before.
Lucky bastard, I haven't done that yet.
Then the Hoolie that's, what was his name? The Hawaiian, really, not Hawaiian, but he's from Hawaii.
I know what you're talking about. Didn't he used to have the Mustang?
He lives on the next block over.
Oh.
Before they put the house.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, now you're talking about now, yeah.
A whole lot. He had like a little, for his kids, he had like the little...
That little circle. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, yeah, before that house was built up, yeah.
I used to talk to him all the time. And when the house went up, comes over. Well, obviously.
Because there's a property literally in the way.
He used to just walk across the street and had this great big open area, and then they got the house.
Yeah, because it used to be a field.
They have, like, the house over here.
Yeah.
I miss that guy. He was a cool guy. I like that.
Well, I'm sure you can still hang out with him. I'm sure if you, like, you know, go to wherever that street is. I'm sure if you go to wherever that street is and, like, go to that house and be like, hey, what's up, you know, and just, like, you know, get his number. I'm sure, you know.
Oh, we used to sit there and bullshit, you know. I'd like...
Just go over to where, you know...
I'd let Bandit run around and ignore it, everything.
Hold on. I'm not gonna say the...
4th of July, we went down there and he had a bunch of shit and I had a bunch of shit. You know, it's back when I had the fireworks stand. And
yeah.
I went up to Washington and got a bunch of mortars and stuff. You can't really do mortars out front of our house because of the trees nowadays.
Oh my god, do you realize how easy it would be to go over to where the fuck he is? You literally have...
Just like around the block.
Yeah. I'm not gonna say the streets and stuff, but yeah, like, I mean, goddamn, it's... Like, yeah, just go over there and be like, hey, what, you know, and just like, what's up? And
I know exactly where he lives.
Well, yeah, exactly. Well, there you go. I'm sure if you grab his phone number, and then y'all can hang out more often. There you go. Boom. Anyway, hold on. What was it about? Yeah, disagree with Demon Mama. The 4th is sanctioned time. I could blow stuff up if cops get involved. Just tell the cop to eat shit and make me.
But yeah, he had family coming in and going.
Yeah, wait, so... But Demon Mama relates to this. 4th is harmful, unnecessary. Sorry, DM. Or triggers are your problem. You don't get to take away my fun because you can't say noise. Otherwise, I would say the exact same thing about concerts. Loud and unneeded, damage people's hearing. Well, I go to concerts. I just literally came back from one, and...
I remember the 4th of July, I went and talked to him, just like, oh, I got some fireworks. I came back here.
You want
I got the truck and opened it up and just, like, bags of fireworks.
I mean, I know what you're talking about.
Daughter, I guess granddad or daughter or whatever, just like, oh yeah, I got tons of fireworks. You know, I parked a good ways away and just like haul out these bags of fireworks, and he had bags of fireworks, and we had a great 4th of July.
Yeah.
Lighting up all kinds of crap.
Yeah, I haven't seen her July 4th rant, but I guess we'll check it out. It's not really that long of a video. I've seen, like, this, you know, recommended to me, but I just haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I miss doing the fireworks stand. That was always lots of fun.
Yeah, it was actually kind of fun. I'm sure we could probably do it again.
Well, when I grew up, it was like...
It's not going to load.
Horse shows. So we you know, as a whole family, my sister showed horses, so we packed up the whole family and went everywhere. Usually it's just under the fairgrounds where the metro is now.
Yeah. It's just this song was saying you don't get to take away people's fun because you don't like it. Yeah.
Or they had to carve out the side of the roads there.
Yeah. As long as I'm saying you just don't want to take away people's fun just because you don't like it, yeah. I mean, I overall agree with that.
Go out there, you know, you're on the fairgrounds, you camp, and then like...
We'll eventually play this video at some point.
Before the fair started, you'd be like walking around and, you know, all the other animal people, the carnies and the people working there, whatever, you just go around, kind of get to know everyone. Yeah, of course, I was a kid. And then the fair started, and oh, that was great.
Oh, yeah.
When the crowds came, and then, of course, you know a lot of the people there.
Right.
And you're camping there, so you spent like the whole week there, pretty much. But it was short ways from home, so
it's kind of like a convention almost.
You'd camp there, then after a while, just go home, take a shower, get a decent meal, come back, hang out, have fun, eat a bunch of carnival food.
Oh, carny food is always like the best. It's not healthy for you whatsoever, but it's like the greatest shit ever.
Oh, you're a kid, you can live on it for a week.
I know, right? Yeah.
Until mom and dad say, no,
enough of that.
You're going home, we're out of money.
Yep.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, gonna put this.
Oh, jeez.
Gonna put this new Havoc sticker on my gun safe. Want to see it? Look at that new sticker. Yeah. Actually, hold on. I have here. I have one. I haven't. Yeah, there you go. I can set this one over here. Oh, hell yeah. Oh.
time is up. Yeah.
That's I think that's
If
their
I
newest
saw
album.
that, I'd pretty much be thinking, yeah, my time is up.
Well, they come out of Denver, Colorado, and a local band called Toxic Holocaust was their second headliner. Oh my god, dude. Show was just too goddamn excellent. Definitely the best show out of, like, the whole year so far.
Yeah, I miss my younger days going to the shows.
I mean, it's not, dude, there's like all sorts of old geezers that show up, but they don't necessarily go up in the pit and stuff. But I mean, they show up. The old geezers, you know, they've been there since like the very beginning.
Up, I wouldn't go in the pit because I'd be lucky to be able to walk.
That's why you got me to be in the pit. You got your good look at someone.
I'll let you break the waves. I think you kind of. Yeah,
you just see me in the pit. I go fucking hard, honestly. Like, I mean, when I get the energy going and stuff, I mean, I'll go fucking hard.
They didn't have mosh pits or anything.
Slam dancing was called back in the day, initially, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which no one. Actually, I was like a little bit before that. I mean, I've been to places where everyone's just like.
Yeah, obviously, kind of. Right, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Dancing and.
Where every now and then someone might bump into each other.
Well, yeah. I guess
if you throw me in the pit, I'm gonna drag you with me. Good. Drag me in the pit with you, brother.
Went and danced and eventually gets somebody bumps into some asshole. He's just like, oh, fuck you. And then you get.
Yeah, then everyone else starts bumping into each other.
And it gets worse.
Nowadays, yeah, but nowadays, like, it's all just like love and cordial. In fact, here, actually, hold on.
You get like fights and shit. Oh, that was like right after I stopped going.
I mean, nowadays there's like legit mosh etiquette. Like, I mean, there ain't like overt violence that happens like in mosh pits really as much.
People go,
I mean, back in the day, yeah, mosh pits would be fucking brutal. Like 80s, 90s and stuff, dude. Yeah, there would be like, yeah, some people like would go fucking full fists and punch somebody, and then it'd be like, oh, you son of a bitch, and grab them and punch them and shit, while everyone else is kind of like bumping and moshing and stuff. Like, yeah, and then they'll see like and then they'll see the fight, and then some, and then one, yeah, and then everybody else in the pit will literally look at like that one fight and be like, all right, fuck this guy, and basically like, you know, gang up on one person in between that fight, even though you might have been in the right, like. Back in the day, that shit would have been brutal. Nowadays, like...
They could get one person, or get pissed off and start beating on another person, and then the other person's, all his friends would join in.
Yeah.
And the first person's friend would join in, and then everyone else was just like, what the fuck? And pretty soon everyone's beating the crap out of everyone they can see, you know?
Nowadays, yeah, but at least like now...
Oh, sorry, you're my best friend.
Oh. Yeah, at least like nowadays, like if somebody were to get knocked over or like, you know, smacked up a little bit in the pit, usually they either push it aside or they're immediately like, some people in the pit will literally do this type of shit, like kind of like a little wall around someone that might have fallen down, because I fell down like a bunch of times in the pit. In fact, I even took a few people down with me in the pit a little bit when I fell down. But when that shit happens, like, especially people on the side and the other people in the pit, when they see that, they'll make like a little wall, do this type of shit, and then a few other people just like, hoo, and then like kind of pat in the back, be like, you good? And if you're just like moshing back into it, then you're just going right back in the pit. But if you're like, all right, hold up, and let me go on to the side, I mean, you know, people will acknowledge, you know, how you're kind of feeling a little bit and, you know, kind of push you to wherever you want to go. Like, if you want to go off to the side of the pit and just, like, take a break for a minute, you know, they'll kind of shove you over there. If you want to, like, you know, if you're just, like, you get back up, you're like, ugh, you know, just kind of going back and, you know, just kind of moshing again a little bit. It's the same shit. Like, you know, but the other direction. Like, they'll just get you right back into the pit. You know, so it's like, I mean, that's kind of like the fun, organized chaos of a mosh pit these days. Like, there's, like, a nice etiquette where there's camaraderie to all that angst and energy that people want to release, and if someone gets banged up a little bit or someone falls, like, we're not trying to, like, fuck each other up to hurt each other, so it's like, if someone gets banged up a little bit, whatever, but, like, if someone falls down, we all try to pick each other up, make sure they're all good, and if they're good enough to go back in the pit, then we put them right back in the pit, and, you know, if they don't want to, then we push them off to the side.
They didn't have a pit, just, like, the whole front wall, and everyone's usually just sitting there like, eh. Just like,
yeah.
You have to get your lighter up it's like, eh.
That's what your dad said he got, that he saw a dude get shanked at a show once for touching some dude's girlfriend. Damn.
I mean, sometimes...
That's pretty fucking brutal.
You still stay standing because it's such a crowd. But constantly you'd see, you know, you get people... They pass out and people lift them up.
Yeah.
And then everyone was like, oh, person coming through. And
right,
everyone's just like...
Oh, dude, there was a lot of crowd surfing tonight, too. But not people passed out. People who just wanted to be crowd surfed. But, yeah, that's happened before. There's been, like, very rare, but I've had people who have been kind of passed out being crowd surfed to the front, so the security can kind of put them off to the side.
Like, crowd surf to the front, and the bouncer would just be like, okay, let's grab this person. And then they take them off to the side to the medical people.
Yeah. Yeah, he's the reason I'm terrified of pits. I don't want to get spanked or shanked and punched. Well, luckily, these days, well, like I said, I've been in plenty of mosh pits in my time, especially in, like, the last 5-something years. And, let me just tell you this right now. Like, when it comes to getting, like, spanked on, shanked, especially shanked and shit like that, or punched, that almost never fucking happens. I mean, there might be, like, the rare unintentional, accidental, like, boop, like, you know, punch in the face, because that's happened to me before, but it's never intentional. No one's trying to, like, like, you know, be like, fuck you, you know, like, no one's ever trying to necessarily do that. Like, I mean, there's only been, like, frankly, at least from my, you know, experience, only one time ever where there was a legitimate fight that almost happened in Mosh Pit. It was actually on my 18th birthday when I saw 3 Days Grace, funny enough. Like, you know, the one concert you think that wouldn't happen at, but it did. Where my friend Harley and some other guy were kind of moshing a little bit, but the other guy didn't really necessarily take, you know, kind to Harley's aggressiveness in the pit and try to kind of start a fight with him a little bit. And outside, when the show was all over, was trying to talk a little shit to him, and by the time we all got outside and he saw us, he eventually kind of just said, fuck it, and just kind of walked off. And was starting to, you know, and kind of laid it, you know, tell us about the situation. And, you know, like, half of us were kind of thinking, you know what, fuck that guy. Why don't we just find him and just kind of fuck on him or some shit? And the other half was like, nah, fuck it. Let's just, you know, go somewhere and hang out for a little bit, smoke a little weed, and just kind of chill and just do our thing and go back home or something. Like, and I was on that crowd. I was on the, like, you know what, who gives a fuck? Let's just go find, you know, some place to go look at the skyline of Portland, smoke some weed, and then go home. You know, I was on that crowd. Like, you know, but there was at least like 2 or 3 others that were kind of like, you know, what's fucking move, you know, so Harley was one of them. I think there's like 1 or 2 others that were kind of on the same side, but at least democracy ruled over and said, nah. So, luckily, that obviously didn't happen, but I think actually my friend, either Tyler or I think I did, you know, actually kind of interceded a little bit as we're kind of splitting off and said, hey, great show, man, you know, awesome, you know, pit, you know, blah, 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 and he was like, yeah, you know, okay, yeah, that's cool, blah, blah, blah. Like, I think he kind of said some shit like that, and he just kind of walked off. I think, you know, one of us in the friend group, you know, diffused it in some way. I remember that much. I don't know if it was either me or Metal T or somebody diffused that shit. I forgot that little bit of detail, but someone did, you know, eventually defuse that situation, which thank fuck, honestly. But either way, it's like, when it comes down to it, like, I mean, like, being, you know, like, being in a mosh pit, like, getting shanked, especially, but, like, you know, punched or, you know, spanked down on and stuff like that, that's pretty fucking rare at this point. Like, the worst that a mosh pit will happen is that you might get knocked down a little bit because someone shoved you a little too hard. But, like I said, you know, like, you know, people will pick you back up. Like, I mean, these days, like, there's kind of like a underspoken, like, rule of etiquette where it comes to mosh pitting. Like, the mosh etiquette is what's called. Like, the unspoken rules. And a part of that is, you know, if someone falls in the pit, you pick them right the fuck back up. And you assess how they are. If they don't want to be in the pit no more, then you push them off to the side. And if they want to stay in the pit, then you just keep moshing. You know, like, I mean, there's kind of an unspoken rule when it comes to things like that. Got 2 neurons playing ping pong in there. Well, I am too, to be frank. I mean, don't think that it's the same thing for me, because it most certainly is. I'm just kind of going wherever the fuck my brain's going, okay? Like, I don't give a shit. In fact, here, you want to see a pit? Because here's an awesome pit. from when Havoc was playing. Speaking of pits.
If you ever come across some mushrooms or something like that, let me know. It's been a long
Dude, man, like, a lot of people that go to these concerts are already fucking lit on these things and don't have any with them. I motherfucking wish, because I want some too. I mean, you think I, want to be going to shows at least a little psychedelically vibed? Because I totally would. I totally microdose on some shrooms or just full trip on some mushrooms while fucking thrashing out. I don't give a shit. I do it.
A little bit of advice. If you're ever checking into jail, don't take a hit of acid just before you go in.
Why would the fuck I do that? I've already had the unfortunate checking in jail once and it was fucking miserable. Why would I do that on acid?
A number of occasions, just one time, just like...
June 19th, that night was horrible. I was in jail that night. Remember? Like, that was horrible.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'll take a hit of acid just before I go to jail. It'll take the edge off. No, not so much.
You know what's fucked up? My friend also got booked as well, but he didn't have to spend time in a jail cell. I had to go through the entire process and be in a cell while my friend got released and was still in the main lobby area at like 8 in the morning, and I was released at like 1:30 in the afternoon. It was just like, I mean, I got fucked more than anyone else, honestly, when we all got back that night. It was bullshit. I got the worst out of all of that. It was like, what the fuck, man? Had to spread the whole cheeks and cough and the whole situation that old nine. It sucked. It was horrible.
You never had that. That sucked. Busted for smoking pot.
An acid enema, or does it only work for alcohol? I think that only really works for alcohol.
And
I mean, I don't know.
I loaded a pipe, took a hit, and handed it to this guy next to me, undercover cop.
Yeah, you told me about that story.
And yeah, I go to jail, and I had like this big, juicy joint. And I had a pack of smoke. I had my normal weed and everything.
Right, yeah.
That's for after the concert. So I took all the cigarettes out of the pack and stuck it in the very back of the pack. So it looked like an open pack of cigarettes with one smoke gone.
Yeah.
And it got searched like 3 or 4 times. The cops are just like, take all the cigarettes out. Not all of them, but most of them, and put them back in. And then I get to the jail, and this great big badass jailer comes in. He's just like,
Some beefcake. Just rips it apart.
No, he wasn't a beefcake. He looked like a larger version of Larry the Cable Guy.
Oh, God. Well, yeah, beefcake then. Yeah, like some...
He wasn't buff. He was fat.
Well, yeah, like some just big, gigantic beefcake chunk boy.
Yeah, big old, really ugly-looking, half-shaven motherfucker. But he just like, okay,
just some thumb of a man.
Before we go into jail, he just like takes him a pack of cigarettes and just like rips the top off, dumps everything out, and what have we here? And I'm sitting there in the waiting room, and then all the cops disappeared.
Oh, wonder what happened there.
Half an hour later, they came in, and their eyes all bloodshot and everything. I had some really good weed, too.
So they all got hell lit off that one. Of course, these fucking pigs. Of course they would do that shit.
Take you to jail, wait for your parents to come pick you up and just leave me in jail for the night. I'll go home in the morning. Don't call mom and dad, please. Anything but mom and dad. I'd rather be in jail. No, they called mom and dad.
Oh my God.
The deadly silence all the way home. Not a word.
Oh, that's when you know you're fucked.
Sitting in the back seat and just like...
That's when you know you're fucked, when there's not even a word on the way back home.
As soon as I get home, there was words.
Oh, I bet. I'll be right back.
Oh. It was just like, oh God. That was like, the ride home was like the longest ride of my life, I swear.
Oh, dude, I bet the existential dread was just insane. Remember that one time when we picked up Harley when it was in this haunted quit? Oh man, that was kind of actually kind of hilarious, honestly. Pretty sure we both of us kind of roasted them a little bit on that one. Zoom zoom! Zoom zoom, little pup. Oh, what a goofy little puppy. My dad has heavily distracted me for at least about 2 hours. Ah! Fuck! God, why? What was that about, dude? I gave you loves and snuggles.
Yeah, I had a good game.
He's back.
She was kicking my ass until they gave her meds, and then pretty soon it kind of fell off, and I kicked her butt in the end.
Nice. At least Ignar's ever been to a drunk tank stoned out of your mind with drunk dude projectile puking every minute, every couple minutes. The teacher, I got shown the drunk tank, and he left me in there for an hour of drunk vomiting, dude. Oh, dude, fuck that, bro. Dude, I feel bad for you, man. That sucks. At least for me, when I was in my cell, it was literally just me. And that was it. I had to deal with the breakfast and then the lunch, because lunch was around noon. And breakfast was like 7. I was woken up around 7. I was like, and I heard one dude's like, hey, this guy's a little weird. He ain't waking up or anything. And I just kind of went up. I was like, oh, sorry, man. I was kind of sleeping a little bit. It's like, oh, my bad, bro. And I grabbed my socks. Well, the socks that they give you, and I just kind of went down. I was like, yeah, what is this? And it's like, oh, no, just the breakfast. And I was like, okay, well, thanks, bro. It's like, no worries, man. And I just kind of looked at it, and I was like, all right, well, at least, it wasn't too bad. The breakfast, honestly, wasn't really terrible. It was flavorless, but at least it wasn't terrible. So I ate that for the most part. And then lunch came around. That shit was just rank. That was horrible. Like, I actually legitimately kind of went, bleh. Like, a couple minutes later after eating some of that. And then, it was about, like, an hour later, when I was eventually fucking, like, alright, hey, you're free to, come out. And they unlocked the door, and I came out, and I kind of stretched. I was like, so where the fuck I go? And then there was, like, some lady at, like, the front, like, little, I guess, office, main desk counter area at the very first floor, because I was on, like, the select floor of cells. She kind of waved and went, oh, okay. And I just kind of went down there and was like, yeah, hey, I called for me. It's like, yeah, you're being released here and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, okay. So then I just, literally spent, like, a fucking, like, 30-something minutes, which felt like 2 hours, getting out of that. Going through the whole process, to get your clothes back and all that other shit and blah, yah. Get your property back, that's all, like, in these little fucking bags that they, store in and shit. And all sort of bullshit. And when I was released, there was the nonprofit group that helps, with a lot of protesters, get their bails slash, help them when it comes to, like, dealing with, whatever potential, charges they may have and stuff like that. Which, initially I did. But when I went to the whole court date, to go deal with that, my charges dropped. So the only thing I needed to do was just show up just to confirm that I showed up for the date, and that was it. That was basically literally it. So, I mean, and when I showed up, the lady at the counter at that time was like, oh yeah, your charges dropped, all you have to do is just kind of show up, and you did, so, oh good. And I was like, cool, sweet, bye. And I just kind of, just went from there. I think there was like a smaller protest going on that night, so I think I just hung out in Portland for most of that day and just kind of chilled with the protest for the most part going on that day, which was pretty, like I said, pretty chill for that night. And then I think some of the more tenser nights, happened later on down the line. But that, at least for that one, it was pretty chill. So, at least that was pretty good. Okay, drunk tank badge. I'm not joking, by the way. Scouts really does have a drunk tank badge. Oh my god. Really? What the fuck, dude? That's ridiculous. I mean, for real, that is goddamn ridiculous. Here, I'm gonna show some more live footage. Civic duty course. Yeah, have a civic duty by, basically, like being in a prison and looking at the inside of, like, or at least, very colored way of, like, of what the prison system looks like. So, you could be a good, obedient citizen. Fuck the Scouts, man. In a weird way, I'm kind of glad I never partook in that. Why did it... Vaxicles have it. Fair enough. I suppose I did too. For the 12 hours I spent in jail. So I got an idea about what it was like. That's my friend Tyler. Don't eat spotted bears, stuff like that. Yeah. There are certain berries you definitely don't want to eat. And mushrooms, too. There's a lot of mushrooms that are actually very healthy for you and very good for you. Lion's mane is actually a very nutritious fungus that you can eat. Mushrooms fungal dicto. Basically, I mean, they're the reproductive element of the fungus. Sure, yeah. At least, you know, fun little thing about the lion's mane fungus, that shit is very colorful and it's very easy to spot, and it's predominantly found in the Pacific Northwest. So let's say I got lost in the woods and I happen to find that shit, I can make that stuff, you know, cook it over a fire, and would have some really good nutritional food. So, like, there are some fungus that is legit very good to eat, but you have to know what you're looking for. Where's the glam rock flare? I mean, it's full of thrash metal. It's hard-hitting vocals. What do you mean hard-hitting vocals? Where's the ballad? Dude, metal is not just about ballads. I mean, they did have a ballad or two. I just didn't record those. This just happened to be the intro of their fucking set, which obviously needs to go hard, you know, to get everyone going. The metal I guess about ballads. Well, the sets that I recorded, you know, were not ballads. Unfortunately for you, I guess. Here's a PDX local band that talks to Holocaust. We're going to do this fireworks video. We will later. Hey, I mean, I have to show off a little bit of the fun that was happening tonight. See, ignores allergic to cringe takes. Well, yes, that I am. But we will get to it. I need to at least have a little reprieve before I do. Besides, the only reason why, kind of like wasn't getting into it because of my fucking dad initially. But you know what? Now that I have you, we're doing this right now. Won't be able to show fireworks since Sonic is so damn hot. I'm pretty sure you'll be able to. That's fireworks ban. I mean, probably during the summer, but that doesn't mean for the entire year necessarily. Shut up. I guess that Republican ensures a good thing on this issue, no matter how. Very rarely. But I think it's just because there's like bipartisan support on it. Here, before we get into that emo stuff, I'll put one little more. From I Am. From one of the openers. Wait, hold on, wait. Actually, only one of the openers. Wait, hold on. Actually, did I go from one of the other fucking... Oh, it did. It went over here. Goddamn fucking weird ass motherfucking fucking camera. Also allowed by HOAs as well. Well, there you go. There you go, man. You can launch some fireworks. You can go fucking ham. Sounds like a demon here. Good. Better be some fucking demons. Expected to take sounds saying like that while I don't care for it. Oh, alright, fair enough. I won't admit though, these fucking breakdowns go so goddamn hard though. Oh, this breakdown actually goes even harder. hard to make music than most people think. Oh, yeah, absolutely. It takes a lot of skill and talent to really make, music like this. Not just like this, necessarily, but just like, music in general. It really does take, like, a certain skill to do that. It's one thing to understand music and, like, learn how to, understand how it works and, the theory behind it and all that stuff. But it's another thing to really, like, be with a group of people and, like, a band or an orchestra or an ensemble and create it. Like, that's a whole nother ball game in a way. And honestly, like, being a performer as much as obviously an enthusiast, to these things, it's, like a strong appreciation, that I have when it comes to, like, any band, really. Honestly, there's been plenty of bands where I'm just like, it doesn't really necessarily hit it for me, but, like you said, I can at least appreciate it because, there's at least, a talent that goes into what they're making, but even if it doesn't necessarily hit it for me. And there's been plenty of shows where I've been to where, like, openers or at least one of the, like 2 or 3 headliners that are playing are not necessarily really that great. Say something sucks, it feels low effort. Well, sure, but the thing is, like, something that sucks versus something that, because it's low effort versus something that, like, you can respect and appreciate despite not, being your vibe or your thing, are totally different things, though. I'm not trying to say something sucks because I just like, that's kind of what I'm saying. Like, something, just because something isn't really the cut of your jib, so to speak, doesn't necessarily mean it sucks, right? Like, which is what you're obviously saying with, some of the live footage, from some of the, the show that I went to earlier tonight. Which, obviously, in a way, you can kind of at least maybe see at least a little bit of a overlap with some of, the stuff that you listen to, because, like, at least when it comes to certain things like breakdowns or, like, certain, like, rhythmic elements or even, the tone of the instruments, stuff like that, there's definitely an overlap when it comes to, like, the music that you've even sent me. Not necessarily when it comes to, like, that heavy, like, like, super thrashy stuff or, like, chugginess in the sense of, like, just kind of, like, chug, deathcore type of stuff or whatever the fuck. I don't see it. Well, I guess maybe it's just because I'm a music theorist and I do have, like, kind of an in-depth knowledge and have, like, an expertise about music and music theory. So when it comes to these type of things, like, I can see, overlap and, crossover, so to speak, when it comes to, like, styles, rhythms, tones, whatever the fuck. Where they get loud, in a way, but what I mean is, like, kind of a tone, like that kind of heavy, distorted, like, kind of like, kind of like that kind of, like, heavy metal kind of style distortion and stuff. Like, there's a strong overlap with really just metal across the board when it comes to distortion. But every band has their own, kind of style when it comes to that, but nonetheless, there's always going to be a crossover with something, to the root of what that is, like what makes, hard rock / metal and stuff like that, and it's distortion. Like, you want to know how distortion was done way back in the day, back in, like, the 50s and 60s? They would take their amps and take, like, a pencil or a knife and just fucking stab their woofer. Like, I'm not even kidding. They'll puncture a bunch of holes in their woofer, and it'll kind of make, like, this kind of sound with their clean tone, and it'll kind of make, like, this early kind of rockabilly, rock and roll sound that would hear with, like, Richie Valens, Big Bopper, Chuck Berry, etc. Like, how they got their sound was they would literally just poke holes in their fucking woofer of their amps and shit. That's how distortion was initially first started. Before, like, other, like, before bands like Black Sabbath really kind of started fucking with, like, the gain and different things like that and other shit. Like, before they really start fucking around with that type of stuff, like, they just would poke holes in their woofers and just kind of keep the same tone and style, but it would add, like, a slight distortion because of that and kind of create this little extra edgy sound, so to speak, back in the time. Where it kind of created the foundation of what was distortion and what would eventually become, like, hard rock, metal, and stuff like that, today. And that, so like, so because of that, like, bands like, Buddy Holly, Richie Valens, like the Big Bopper, all these type of guys. Yeah, I just realized those three names. They all died in a plane crash together. I just kind of realized that, but whatever. I don't know why all three of them are kind of in my mind, but regardless, like a lot of these type of dudes, from back in like the 50s and the early 60s, like. They would basically literally be the first foundation, so it would become like that hard rock, distorted, kind of like early heavy metal type of sound. I mean, just on the virtue of that, they would just do weird little quirks, like, stab their woofers of their amp, to make that slight distorted sound or shit like that. And, I mean, that's what I'm talking about, because it's not necessarily just, like, kind of the music theory behind everything, but it's also kind of like the history of, like, where like certain sounds come from in a way, because like the whole sound of distortion didn't really start just because Black Sabbath decided to fuck around to gain stuff. Like the reason why they kind of started doing that was because they learned from the same type of ideas and styles from doing the whole like stabbing of the woofers and stuff, and they kind of realized you could probably do that same type of thing, but just kind of fuck around with some of these knobs and stuff and some of these more orchestrated amps. So let's do that. And it would create, like, this really heavy distorted sound, which would become, like, the fundamental, like, Sabbath sound, essentially, when it comes to, like, the guitar tones and stuff like that. And, basically became, like, the core foundation for a lot of metal bands, from that day, basically. So, I mean, really, a lot of it just comes down to
too long to change the key later.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of it just comes down to a lot of the like history of like how the evolution of these different sounds come to be in a way. Because like even then, like back in the day, like distortion, even before like guitars and stuff were getting heavily electrified and super commonplace, like things like violins and stuff like that were even getting distorted to an extent by purposely doing kind of like artificial amplification, and stuff like that before amps were starting to become very commonplace as well. Like during the early jazz scene, which at this time would be considered jazz instead of Z's, it would be with S, so so it'd be jazz instead of jazz, but nonetheless basically the same thing. Like, a lot of that early, like, kind of distorted sound that I'm kind of referring to, especially when it came to, like, electric violins or, the early electric guitars or, like, early, like, stand-up upright basses, being electrified. Back in the day, that was considered a lot of, like, degenerate, like, music and stuff because it was, like, distorting and fucking with traditional instruments, and a lot of very upper-crusted prudes at the time thought that was, like, verboten, basically. But nonetheless, it led to a hardcore foundation of what, eventually became, like, the mass industry of, like, amplifiers when it came to the idea of like having different sounds and different things outside of just mere acoustics and all this other shit. Like it led to a really major foundation of like what built frankly a lot of like what the music industry ended up being. Like, I mean, there's a lot of different genres that one might take for granted that honestly really historically especially really legitimately like had a pinnacle role historically about like how we have the genres that we have today. And it's and there's and if you really want evidence of that, there's a lot of different music documentaries out there. Adam Curtis actually has a couple of music documentaries about like the history of jazz and stuff like that goes into a lot of what I'm talking about. And there's all sorts of different early jazz artists before even like big names like Louis Armstrong and stuff like that became prominent names. Like there's even like major influential jazz artists prior to even his name and shit, like, and the likes of him that played a major role of like what jazz became to what we understand it as now. I mean, because there's really a lot of rich fucking history of that type of shit. I mean, even if it at the end of the day it's not necessarily your type of stuff, I mean, just understand like what like the music that you are into and where it kind of originally kind of comes from is like something that at least for me especially as partially a music theorist and someone who knows the history behind it, is something that I in a way, why I'm a music journalist is why, I appreciate music for, really for what it is, regardless of really what genre, what style it is. Because at the end of the day, I got my specific interests, obviously. I got, the music that, like I'm, got my heart to, but, I mean, I'll bop and vibe to pretty much just about goddamn near anything if I like it. I mean, honestly, like, through and through. I mean, there's been a lot of different things I'll listen to. So, it's just like, and that's, because at the end of the day, I just have such an appreciation for what, like, at least for me, like, what humanity is able to create when it comes to music. And because there's, like, it's, honestly, there's so much that we don't even really, like, necessarily realize as, like, as a humanity, because there's so many of these, like, small little indie bands, tiny little artists, little local bands, stuff like that, that we just never hear about, because they're just all, like, word of mouth, type of guys, basically just all nothing but house show, garage show, bar show type of dudes, type of shit, and we just never hear about them. I mean, it's like, because, like, for example, like, when I went to the punk show that I went to back on the 4th, like, I never knew about most of those bands up until I just fucking went there. And then when I found out, like, they at least had a little bit of stuff online, but that's just because we live in an era where, it's more accessible to find these type of things. If this was, like, 10 years ago, fucking, like, 20, even 30 years ago and shit, especially, like, going back further and stuff, like, it'd be word of mouth. I would have to just, like, go out of my way to, like, go to music, fucking shops, just go to random, like, concerts, stuff like that, and just talk to people. Nowadays, like, you just can find, like, some random little Facebook post that one of your friends shared and be like, hey, look, there's a show going on. You want to go? Hell yeah, bro. And it's like, I mean, it's, and you can figure that shit out, like, weeks in advance, instead of, like, basically the day of, right? Like, I mean, it's like shit like that is, like, it's more easily accessible nowadays. And, in a way, it kind of gives me more of an appreciation for it, because, like, there's even bands that, like, there's, like, bands that aren't really necessarily, like, super big, totally, like, for example, like, Bloodywood, because they're from India, like, Bloodywood's from, India, and, like, they're not necessarily a huge-ass band, but, like, at least when it comes to the broader metal community, they've been making a lot of fucking waves, and been making, like, like, a lot of, recognition because of that, and got their first North America tour earlier this year, and I wish I fucking knew about that, because I would have went to their show, because fuck, I'm so sad I missed that show. Like, I mean, but, because honestly, like, somebody recorded their entire set, and it is on YouTube, from when they came here, and oh my god, dude, they fucking went hard. I'm just like, motherfucker, man, I wish I went to that show. I am so sad I missed that, but I just didn't know, it was one of those situations, it's like, it happened to pass me, but, it's like, next time they come by, though, I'll make sure that ain't happening again. It's because, man, they go heavy, like, I mean, because, like, they got a lot of really good-ass songs. I mean, for the most part, like, it's kind of a mixture of Indian, slash Hindu, like, and, English, so, I mean, it's a little bit of, like, Indian folk metal slash kind of, like, broader contemporary, like, kind of new metal slash, like, rap metal, style a little bit. But, nonetheless, like, they go so fucking hard. They slap. I really hope to see them live at some point. But nonetheless, not necessarily, like, a huge big name, or, they're not, like, a Slayer or whatever the fuck. But nonetheless, like, internationally recognized to some extent, to where they can get international tours, they can, they're making their name out there, and, doing their shit. I mean, it's like, and just the fact that, like, on YouTube, there's, like, different little indie channels, or, like, indie record labels that would basically, for the most part, essentially, like, just publish, various different artists that happen to hit them up, be like, hey, you want to share our EP or album or whatever the hell, and stuff like that. Like, actually, I just got a notification for this YouTube channel that actually does the exact same thing I'm talking about. 45 seconds ago, the Ironborn. and it's their EP. I don't know this band. I literally have no idea where the fuck they're from. Let's see. Bulgaria, dude. Dude, this band's from fucking Bulgaria, bro. I don't know what their sound is like or anything. You know, well, I'm going to hear at least one of their songs. The Sinner's Blood, Curse of the Wendigo, Liar, Live at Metal Fest. Oh, they were at Metal Fest at one point? Wow, okay. Already making waves. Red Baron's Last Flight. Hey. I like the names of these songs. Dude, this band actually sounds kind of badass. And they're from Bulgaria. But see what I mean, though? I mean, it's like... The fact there's like little channels and different little things, like just little outlets, you know, that just like will release just random motherfuckers or, you know, random ass little bands and EPs and stuff like that. You know, they're, for the most part, would have been word of mouth back in the day. Like if it was like the 1980s and this band was like doing this thing and this was an EP, I would never hear this up until I was like 50. But nowadays, like, you know, like we have the internet to basically find this type of shit. You know, so it's cool. And, you know, I actually want to hear what their sound is like. Here, I want to hear them. Ooh, some thunders. Okay. Some atmospherical stuff so far. Nu metal's been maligned by a lot of asshole artists. For the most part, I honestly kind of tend to agree. Nu metal's kind of, honestly, kind of fragmented. It's like you got some progressive lefty nu metal bands out there for sure, but there's a lot of them like Five Finger Death Punch, you know, that are not, you know, at all, where they're just kind of right-wing chud bands. Nu metal still exists if you look for it. Oh, dude, of course it does. Like I said, Bloodywood, that Indian folk nu metal band. I mean, they're nu metal. Like they incorporate a lot of Indian folk metal / rap metal into their broader nu metal sound, but they're nu metal. Like there's definitely a lot of nu metal sounds out there for sure. Okay, I like the sound of this band. This is like pretty good, like classic style thrash. I like this. Even grunge still somewhere exists. Oh yeah, it does. These genres are never gonna die. I mean, this sounds like some classic 80s thrash. I mean, and that just kind of shows in itself that these genres ain't ever gonna die. I mean, they will always have their little, like, cult, like, community, cult classic, you know, little, like, fan base and stuff like that. Like, these genres and these bands and stuff, they'll always have that shit. But Kurt died. I mean, for the most part, I do agree with you. I mean, and I feel like, honestly, it would have died whether he, you know, was alive or not. Eventually, there probably would have been a... I kind of feel like, honestly, if Kurt was still alive, he probably might have sold out later in life. I don't think so, personally. I just know that's kind of like a theory that some people have, and I do kind of feel like there is a, you know, kind of a valid position to it. I just personally don't think that would be the case. Sold a shit album. Oh yeah, I mean, every band is always going to have an album that isn't necessarily great. Like, even my most favorite band out, like, you know, a lot of my most favorite bands that exist out there, like, I mean, you know, I'll admit, you know, not every album's great off of them. You know, like, for example, Nightwish, I mean, their album, Angels Fall First, and also, Dark Passion Play, those albums aren't necessarily the greatest albums. The first one, Angels Fall First, is their EP and their first album, which is like back in 1997. So, I mean, they were a totally different sound when that happened. But Dark Passion Play, it's a good album, but when it comes to like peak Nightwish sound, when it comes to Nightwish as a symphonic metal, Dark Passion Play isn't necessarily like the best album to go to. It's good. It's an excellent album overall, nonetheless, but it's, you know, for Nightwish, it's definitely more in the middle. You know, so that's, I mean, that would at least, you know, what I would say. But, you know, but like I said, though, that just kind of shows that, like, every band will always have, like, you know, an album that isn't necessarily, like, the fucking greatest ever. I will say, out of Dark Passion Play, The Poet and the Pendulum, like, that song is amazing. That song is just phenomenal. Dude, can you not do that, please? Damn dog. I don't think he whistled his soul. Man, I don't know if he would ever do that really necessarily. Alright, at least for the first song of Ironborn, or The Ironborn, this band slaps. This band is great. I like it. Now, if only they'll come to America. Well, they're probably a little too fresh, you know, for that, unfortunately. The Foo Fighters tried to keep things alive, but they eventually sold out. Eh. I mean, Foo Fighters are good, but yeah. Foo Fighters are, at least in my opinion, a little too mainstream. I know we're gonna be looking at this. I know you want me to look at this because it's about fireworks and stuff. So let's check this shit out.
Remembering the time that a bunch of soldiers got shell shock from British troops bombarding them in a tiny fortress on the east coast of America. I can't remember where. I think it was in Virginia or something. I don't fucking remember. Who cares? The point is,
yeah, who
Americans
cares?
celebrate a holiday where we ritualistically blow things up in the sky. Now,
sounds awesome.
And
also, you forgot the idea that we have a bunch of hot dogs, burgers, steaks, ribs, and a bunch of alcohol going on. So you forgot that, but yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Days, okay, in ye days of yore, fireworks were not, like, super commercially available, okay? And people didn't really like people throwing sticks of dynamite.
Well, well, that's why you would have dynamite just, you know, sitting in the middle of the field and you blow it up there. Or you'd be like my dad and go in the middle of, like, the forest and find a waterfall and just throw it off the waterfall and watch it blow up at the bottom.
And so,
because my dad would actually make his own, you know, pipe bombs and would light them and toss them, like, down waterfalls and watch them go boom boom. So he's had that before, and kind of wish it would teach me those. I probably shouldn't say that, but you know, I wish it would teach me those tricks just so I can also do the exact same thing. I'm actually being honest. I literally would have no purpose besides just like wanting to throw them somewhere and watch them go boom and be like, yeah, boom boom.
You would get pretty limited.
I like boom booms, okay?
Shows.
I'm a human being and I like my boom booms.
By like a town or by a city, and usually the fire department would be involved to make sure that it goes off safely, and there would be a big show with a big finale. It would be about an hour long, and you'd see all the amazing lights, and people would eat some stuff. Now, however, in nowadays, we have this thing called consumer-grade fireworks, which are incredibly, incredibly popular all across the United States, and are horrible. Okay, I'm just going to be completely honest. They can be fun in extremely minimal doses, okay? But every other house in a major city deciding to personally fire consumer-grade mortar shells into the sky is a bridge too far, okay? I hate to be the
Cringe. Nah. Don't be the Karen that had to deal with on the 4th.
You guys, wow, the parade rainer? What the hell was that? I hate to be the old man yelling at cloud. I hate to be the party pooper. You guys know that generally I have a pretty rebellious spirit. But this isn't cool. It's not cool, okay, guys? It's not cool to just shoot an ungodly amount of mortar shells into the sky for no reason at all for a week surrounding the 4th, okay? It's not fun.
It's literally a weekend of the fucking year. I mean, it's not like people are doing this in the middle of September or anything. I mean, honestly. I mean, like, it's the same thing that I said to the fucking Karen that I had to deal with on the 4th. It's like, it's not like people are doing this in the middle of fucking April or August or December or some shit. Like, it's just, like, the one rare time where, like, it's an exceptionary case where people can have a little slack about this. I mean, it's like, come on.
And
really?
It's actually really terrible for basically everyone, okay? Every firework that goes off affects an incredible amount of people, okay? I'm talking one firework affects... a single firework fired in a suburb affects like 100 people. In a city, a single firework could affect thousands of people.
So... affect thousands of people by hearing a big boom? I mean, honestly, like, I just don't... Why? I mean, I'm not really... I'm not gonna be that uncharitable, okay? Like, I just don't really see it... like, for me personally, like, I'm just gonna say right off the bat, I don't see this as a big deal. You're pissed off NIMBYs. That's kind of how I feel about it. Like, I'm not gonna, like, you know, mischaracterize her position about this, but, like, it just kind of comes down to, like, I mean, who cares? Is this really that big of a deal? Like, I mean, I get it, I suppose, like, if you got, like, you know, hearing sensitivity shit, if you got, like, you know, pets and stuff, but, like, thing is, you know, this is something that happens every year, so, shouldn't it be, like, your responsibility, you know, because of that, to make sure that you are in an area that's chill. Because thing is, there's plenty of people that get, like, acknowledge the fact that they hate the, you know, like, you know, fireworks and stuff, so they'll go out of town for a little bit. Or just go out of town for the day. So they don't have to deal with, like, boom, 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 you know, and bullshit blowing up everywhere or whatever. That's fine. I mean, whatever. Like, however people want to enjoy their 4th, I don't give a fuck, you know? Like, I mean, just don't ruin anyone else's fucking fun time, you know what I mean? That's all I care about. Just, like, don't ruin anyone else's fun time just because, like, your fun time's over or you just weren't necessarily responsible enough to, like, take a, you know, proper, you know, accordance to the fact that it's a rare, exceptional time of the year that this type of stuff is going to be very overt. I mean, you know, it's like... I'm not necessarily saying that as like a, well, fuck off, you dumbass, bitch. It's just more about, like, you know, like, it's like other people's fun time, you know, should their fun time be ruined because of that? I mean, it's like, because, sure, I guess, you know, you can invoke laws, like, you know, how Oregon does, where you can't have a firework that goes over 10 feet and shit like that, but guess what, that ain't gonna stop people like me from getting other fireworks, you know, from, like, the reservation or something, right? Or from Washington, where they don't got those restrictions. Like, so, I mean, that ain't gonna, you know, it's like, sure, you can have that, but, like, those loopholes are there for honestly, because like for those, you know, rare times of the year, until you get like some stuck up dickback pig, you know, that wants to pull you over at the border or some shit of Washington, Oregon, or near the reservations or something. You know, but beyond that, for the most part, no one really cares. And it really shouldn't be that big of a deal. I mean, unless there's like some overt like wildfire hazard shit, that's the only time where I think it's understandable, because there's definitely, you know, some times of the year where like there's wildfire like hazards when it comes to shit like this, and that honestly I actually think is understandable and would be okay with, you know, enforcing. You know, because like there's been times where like, you know, there's been such bad heat waves or wildfires going on in Oregon and Washington and PMW where like there would be full-on straight-up firework bans, you know, for the most part, outside of, you know, very specific types of fireworks, you know, just because like it'd be potentially too hazardous and could possibly spread, you know, major severe fires and shit. And at least in that circumstance, at least when it comes to those very specific environmental factors, I mean, I'm okay with that. I ain't gonna bitch about that. It's just like when it comes to when that isn't a problem, then I mean, just let people have a little fun. I mean, just cut some slack. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's like go out of town or, you know, or something. Or like, so I don't know. It's like just don't ruin other people's fun.
Might have like actual literal heart conditions. Some of those people might have PTSD. They might be veterans and they might have PTSD. Tons of people.
Don't you think they have means and abilities to be able to address that type of stuff? And even if they don't necessarily, because I know there are plenty that where, you know, their trauma and, you know, that type of shit, you know, is very overwhelming. But like I said, shouldn't that be able to be something that like, I don't know. I'm not trying to necessarily say like there's a victimized thing, but it should at least be some, at least minimal level of responsibility to be like, you know, there's something that happens every time of year. Make sure that you're away from these type of issues, you know, or from these type of triggers, right? Like, you know, at least, you know, at least as a basic minimal. Like, just make sure that, you know, when it comes to the 4th of July weekends and stuff like that, you know, go out of town or have a camping trip or something like that, you know, or, you know, where you're away from that type of shit, you know, and you don't get triggered, you know, from like those type of things. I mean, so it's like I said, I mean, you know, when it comes to that, you can still have fun on the 4th of July. I mean, honestly, I mean, you can legit still have fun doing that type of shit. It's just that you're taking onus for your own things that, you know, obviously don't make your day fun, you know, and make sure that, you know, you avoid those type of problems and, you know, and still enjoy your day, you know, or in the weekend or whatever the hell. It's freedom take from DM. Yeah, I mean, I will agree. I mean, because I kind of honestly get where she's coming from, but I mean, it's just okay, dude. It's not just like one. My triggers make me feel bad. You know, it's not just, dude. It's not, like you're being a little uncharitable about it. Like, I mean, like I see where she's coming from, but I mean, I still disagree though. I'm not gonna be uncharitable. I'll be like, you know, or whatever the fuck about it. I mean, you know, it's because, I mean, she's at least like, you know, legit thinks about and is honest and is principled about, you know, her takes and about what she thinks and about what she says. Like, so at the end of the day, she does legit believe what the fuck she says about this. And at the end of the day, I disagree with it. Oh well, whatever. Ain't at the end of the world. I don't disrespect her or like lose respect or dislike her or some shit like that because of this or something. Like, I mean, my position or opinions about her aren't going to change over this. I just disagree with her on this take and think she's just being a little ridiculous, but whatever. It's not the end of the world. I don't care. I don't even really think she, you know, thinks too hardly about this, you know, for the most part. I'm pretty sure this happened because somebody in her chat asked her about it. What are your thoughts on the 4th of July? You know, I guarantee someone said that, and that's what started this whole rant. I guarantee that's what happened.
Dogs, birds, and cats, which cannot comprehend or deal with fireworks, which is generally why...
My dog can. I took my dog shooting. I mean, he can handle big explosions, big boom booms pretty well.
Shows are historically confined to waterfronts or large lakes
which sometimes people will bring their pets to sometimes.
Where you can shoot them off with relatively few people being affected, except for the people who want to be there. This shit of everybody firing them off in suburbia and in the middle of the city for hours and hours on end is fucking it's unacceptable, okay? It's just yesterday, let me tell you my personal story, okay? I am not particularly stressed out by fireworks personally. It doesn't bother me.
So why do you care?
Booms are whatever. I know that they're fireworks, and I don't have any explosion-related triggers or anything like that. However, my dog does. My dog is terrified of booms. And when I say terrified, I mean like shaking convulsions level terrified. And
I mean, some dogs just can't handle that, which is fine in a sense that the fact that they, some dogs are like that, but when you want to make sure that, it's like there's an area where you put yourself, or at least, put your, dog in a space or at least an area where it's safe. I mean, some people, at least, as, like a legit, charitable, good faith, sense of advice that I would, if I was talking or give, it's like, at least, how some people, when dogs, can't handle all that type of shit, like, what some people do is they usually put, like, a big, explodey, boom-boom action movie where there's, like, a lot of explosions and stuff like that, like some Transformers movie or some shit, where, or, like, some, like, Expendables or whatever the fuck, and, and basically you put that on, like, blast volume, and that will kind of help mask a lot of the actual explosions, because then it will kind of make the dog think that a lot of those explosions that it's hearing is just from the movie, because for the most part, that's what it is. So, like, a lot of those, like, shockwave stuff, if, in a sense, it just thinks it's just coming from the movie, that, is playing in the background that, thinks its owners are watching. So, and at least, for a lot of dogs, that seems to work sometimes, but not for every canine. Some, obviously it doesn't work for every canine, but, like, at least for some, that seems to at least help address a lot of those type of issues, when it comes to a dog that can't handle fireworks and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's like, yeah, obviously it sucks, and you don't want, your dog stressed out, or any pet stressed out, for that matter, honestly, but, like, I mean, you just want to make sure that, like, when time of year comes around, you just figure out and find a way, in the best way, to make sure that your pets are comfortable. I mean, it's all you can really do in this circumstances, or just, like, spend like a night, camping or something for the night or some shit or something. I mean, sometimes, I mean, you just have to take take extra precautions, or like extra levels to address, that type of situation. I mean, it's just sometimes what it takes. I mean, it's like, I mean, I'm, being a little fur baby dad myself, I mean, like, there's definitely plenty of things I have to deal with and address when it comes to my dog and stuff. I mean, luckily, when it comes to fireworks, stuff like that, he doesn't care. Like, I mean, like I said, he's been with me when I go to, go out shoot in the middle of the woods and stuff. Like, I mean, and he doesn't give fuck one. He just sits there, stares at me, and if anything, he wants to just be right next to me and be like, "Are you okay? There's big boom-booms right next to you. What are those? Are you okay?" Like, if anything, he's just more curious about it. Like, he's like, "Oh, what's all this?" Like, fresh brass hitting the ground and he's sniffing it. It's like, do you want to burn your nose, you weird dog? Like, he's actually weird about it. He's more curious about the boom-booms more so than scared of it. So it's like, I mean, some dogs are actually kind of like that. I mean, they'll be kind of curious about it, if anything. And so you have to kind of, like, keep them away and be like, "Don't hurt yourself. Stop it. Like, don't be dumb." Zukov will do that. Like, he's done that before. And, like, I'll be, shooting some targets, and I'll suddenly see him, like, walk, like, 5 feet in front of me, and I'm just like, "Oh, rifle up. What the fuck? God damn it, dog." It's like, what the hell? Why are you downrange, you piece of shit? And I have to, like, shuffle him over and tie him up a little bit, make sure he doesn't move again, and stuff like that. And, keep him leashed up and all this other shit, because I can't trust his ass sometimes, because he's a fucking weirdo. But, yeah. That's just because Zukov is literally the opposite about this. Like, when it comes to fireworks and stuff like that, he's honestly, weirdly enough, more curious about the explosions and stuff like that. More so than anything else.
No matter what we try to do, my dog is scared shitless all day, the entire day, and we do everything we can to calm her down, but it literally drives her crazy. And
I mean, like, I wish I was kind of, here to, like, or, like, I wish I was there on stream, when she was saying this, because I honestly, obviously, in good faith, I'd just be curious to be like, what specific stuff, because, like, if it's just basically, cuddling your dog and just, like, holding on to him and stuff like that ain't necessarily gonna really help. Sometimes it will, but some dogs ain't gonna do it. It's like, they have to take other certain variables, but I don't know. I'm not gonna, be like, well, I don't believe, or some shit. Like, I'm taking her word for it, but I mean, because there's just, like, there's probably just something that she probably just hasn't thought about necessarily when it comes to, trying to help with the situation where, it might help, but, it's something she hasn't thought about, yet, necessarily. Because, like I said, like, some people will use, like, big explodey, action movies and stuff like that to kind of, like, mask a lot of the explosions in the background from fireworks and stuff. And that, for a lot of people tends to help, when it comes to distress, with their dog or any pet, when it comes to that situation. So, it just kind of depends on the dog, obviously, but also just kind of depends on, like, what works best. Sometimes, like, the whole, like, blast and explosion movie or some sort, is not going to be the, end all be all or necessarily an aid in that type of stuff. For some dogs, it might naturally maybe make it worse, but it just depends on, like, how your dog is, what their personality is like. Your fucking cat, you let him in, he shits on your clean clothes. Oh my god, dude. Maybe you should have a litter box in your room so then your cats quit doing that. So then you can let them in and not have to worry about that.
From the 2nd of July, sometimes well into the 6th, people were still firing mortar shells near my house off at 3 a.m. this morning. I was woken up by mortar shells personally, and I know for God's sake my dog was. Okay?
Well, if it's not on the 4th, then they're being dicks. Like the 4th, like that day, sure. But, like, any other, like, if it's on, like, the 5th or 6th, then, especially at, like, 3 a.m., then, yeah, fuck them. At that point, they're being dicks. Like, I can understand maybe, having, like, one more little hoopla, before, like, sound ordinances, or, like, 8 or 9, or, 10 o'clock or something like that. But, if we're, like, maybe 1 or 2 more days. But beyond that, like, knock it off. Like, stop it. Like, cut off the work set about it. Yeah. There's a understandable, metric when it comes to that. On the 4th of July, to me, that midnight's cut off. Like, I mean, until it's midnight, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, let people have their fun. So if there's, like, people having a little late night party and, kicking it around a little longer, around, like, 11:30 and want to, like, have, a couple more motor blasts before they go to bed or, go their ways, in separate ways and shit like that, then whatever, let them have it. It's like, as long as it's on the 4th specifically. Once it hits 5th, after midnight, then that's the cutoff. At least in my opinion.
Let me just talk about another thing, which is Americans do not have a social spirit, okay? Americans are like the most unhealthy and antisocial people on the entire goddamn planet. So there isn't any, like, cool, chill day afterwards where everybody cleans up their garbage. Instead, Americans, they basically say, well, the authorities say we can fire fireworks on the 4th. That means whatever says goes. This morning, our yard, our car, our porch, we fired 0 fireworks. Our roof, our yard, our car, and our porch was covered in accelerant, debris, pieces of gunpowder, colorful wrappings, unexploded ordnance. And none of these people who were firing them over our house so that they could see them from their house,
damn,
came by to say, "Hey, here's the July 6th is cleanup day where we go around and
well, they never had any fireworks in the first place, so I mean,
clean up all the traffic.
That's why you need fireworks.
Sounds like a first bomb from DM. Well, yeah, I mean, I probably won't play this entire thing. Like,
your house burns down, okay. If you just get...
Well, I mean, no shit if that happens.
Wait till the next rainstorm.
The thing is, like, I mean, obviously...
it'll be gone.
I mean, obviously, I guess, the thing is, like, on one hand, it's like, I get, like, the idea of, like, you don't want, like, just random-ass debris on your property and shit. I get that, but, like... I mean, it's... Like, are most fireworks, most of it's, like, made out of, like, cardboard, ain't it?
There's other annoying stuff that falls on your roof, like, let's say, if you live somewhere in the northern climates, in the winter, you get snow.
That's normal. That's not like an annoying thing.
4th of July,
that's not a problem.
You get ash on the roof. That's normal. At least it's predictable. Unlike winter, that's not predictable. You never know.
Yeah, it is. Like, it's a literal fucking season of the year. What?
Yeah, one day. Yeah, it's very predictable. It's 4th of July, I'm gonna get ashes on my roof. Okay.
Fuck. Did you just say winter was a fucking day? I swear to fucking God, I just heard that.
New Year's, that's 2 days.
Oh, so winter's 2 days now. Oh, my mistake. I didn't realize that winter was, 2 days of the whole year.
According to me, it could be any day of the year as long as I feel like it.
Winter is in fact a week, actually. Oh my fucking God. We're not doing it. Oh my God. Nope. Nope. Oh my God. Could have been. No! I mean, actually, I probably should, but no. You need tour beauties. Do you need to go to bed? You just, like, butchered the fuck out of that. You need tour beauty, ignore sleep. Like, what the fuck? What were you even trying to say?
There's pooch.
What were you trying to say there, bro?
Okay, I'm closing the door. I'm pulling the light. Ow.
Shaking with dealing with step douche. Wide awake listens to him scream. Well. God damn it. That situation is happening. Well, I'll just, I mean, I guess, my best advice would just basically just, like, as long as it's just, like, arguing, whatever, I guess you just tune it out, but if not, then, you might want to step in.
It just nuked the fuck out of the cats in the room, so.
Doing best to listen while trying to ignore it. Well, that's kind of what I'm saying. I would just, like, fucking, tune it out enough, but as long as it's not, like, getting any worse than it is, then just whatever, just zone it out.
Yeah.
In case it gets dumb. I mean violent. Because a motherfucker like that is most certainly capable of that. That's for sure.
Yeah, you should be in the Senate, Mr. Snazatopoulos.
Come here, Pop. Whoa. Well, hello. 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 Oh my god. Goddamn Snoop. He's trying so hard to get over here. Come here. Oh my god. Can you wait a minute? Pa? Papa? Okay, fine. Here you go. Here's a good boy. He's a big old softy. Fucking fat ass little lapdog. Here's a good boy. Oh, look at that good boy. There you go. Good ball. Big goof. Try and pour my... Wait, who? Stu's a property yet. Wait, who is? Oh, Jarrett. What? I'm pretty well, like... I'm kind of aware of him. He's like some random ass, dumbass fucking internet locale. He says he's a quote proud pedo. Oh my god. Wow. Dude, I mean... I don't really watch DP that much, but you really think I'm not unaware of the memes? Because, I mean, I know about that guy. I mean, DP talks about him fucking endlessly. Like, literally endlessly. Papa? Whoa. Don't fall. Also, Billy Fridge is in the hospital, heart condition. Yeah, he told me about that. Which, that sucks, man. I hope Billy Fridge, gets better, man. Hope he's doing okay. Billy Fridge is legit. It's pretty cool. I like Billy Fridge. Oh, you want the rest of this meat, dude. You fucking fruit. This is heart valves only work at 17% capacity. Fuck, dude. Oh man, I swear to fuck, dude, if we hear something bad where Billy the Fridge is defridged, I'm gonna be legitimately very sad. I might cry. Dude, Billy the Fridge is awesome. Like, I actually legit like him. He's like, he's a little weirdo. He's an edgelord sometimes and stuff, but he's always, been like, in a weird way, wholesome at heart. I've always liked Billy. Has a last shitload late that he's gonna croak. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't think so either, but, I mean, dude, at 17% capacity, that's pretty serious, dude. So, obviously, there's other things going on, about his health, that need to be addressed, obviously, I mean, so, hopefully he gets that shit worked out. Because he's already, been doing pretty good for himself in the last couple of years, so, it's like, obviously, there's, like, a really big bad kind of, hiccup going on, but, hopefully he makes it out of that. Having a right-toy flirtation with Trump, kind of like how TJ did with 2016. Well, I mean, I don't really think Billy's being really that serious about it, because Billy's kind of done that in the past, honestly. I remember in 2020 where he kind of joked around with it, but he wasn't actually being that serious with it. Because there would be plenty of times where there would be different streams where he would be overtly, like, being anti-Trump, too, so... Been making a lot of pro-Trump comments and jokes. Well, I mean, like... Whoa, dude, hey, dog, chill. Puppy, chill. Damn. They make a lot of pro-Trump. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, I don't know how genuine here... Like I said, I haven't really, honestly, to be fair, haven't seen DP in a while. But, like, I'm aware of them enough to kind of know what they kind of talk about, to an extent. But, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's like, at least, from what I know of Billy, like, I wouldn't necessarily think he's, like, overtly being purposely pro-Trump. I don't really think he is. It really strikes me as that type of dude. So I think he's just kind of doing that for, like, memes, basically. And I know TJ, at least, for a while, like, was basically, doing that, being like, I'll give him a chance, fuck it. And then, like, literally, like, a few months after his presidency, he was like, you know what, fuck this piece of orange shit. Like, I mean, it didn't take long for TJ to be like, fuck him. So, I mean, I don't know. Like, I feel like Billy's probably just doing it more so for, like, meme's sake, more so than, like, that or anything. And usually test CP content before what, the alter? Well, I know about the, dude, bro, like, what, you think I've only been aware of DFF and that's it? Like, I know about DP and the alter perspective. I'm aware of this, right? I know of these things. Like, I mean, I haven't watched any of it in a while, but I'm aware of them. I know of them. In a weird way, I mean, these days, I guess in a strange sense, I kind of prefer the alter perspective because it's kind of a little bit more just like low-key, chill, / kind of like, just kind of watching random ass shit. Stuff like that. Every now and then delving into the news, but being more like, in a weird way, kind of like laid back about it. At least, from my last remember. I don't know if it's, changed format or not since then, but that's at least what I remember from it. But it's a bit of charisma. Well, I mean, he's been doing DP and the alter perspective and all these other projects for a while now. I mean, I'm sure he's gained charisma and been, able to kind of create more of a character for himself these days. I mean, at this point, yeah. He's not my most favorite, like, personality on the internet, for myself personally. But at the end of the day, I mean, he's definitely grown, since, like, DP in this original form. He's definitely grown out of, like, whatever little, like, larva that he was in initially. Corona full blown show, I mean. But yes, enough to run a show. I think TJ and Paul could run a full-blown show. I mean, well, yeah. I think Paul and TJ can easily do their own, because they do. I mean, Paul and TJ have both done their own shows. Bank Run Company podcast. Because that's basically what he's always done. Is just run a competent podcast. Like, I mean, back when DP in its original form, like, they, Ben was, like, the main logistics of, a lot of that shit. And then when Paul came in the mix, they kind of interwove him into some of the logistical, like, backing of some of the stuff, too. At a certain point. I mean, a TV show. Oh, yeah. I honestly think, because TJ wants to make a full fucking movie, not just a TV show. Like, he wants to make a full-on movie. And, like, Paul, I think both of them want to make their own movies at some point. You know, whoever wants to DP on demand is great as fuck. $5.99 for old shows. Oh, yeah, nah, fuck that. Ain't worth it. Rentals not buying. Rentals? Nah, nah, fuck that. That's bullshit. Right off the bat, bullshit. That's definitely just comically ridiculous. Here's like $6 for like an old ass show for a podcast, but you only have it as a rental. That's only really yours for like 48 hours. It's like, what the fuck's the point then? At that point, I'm expecting like $1. $5.99 for Contradictions of a Gore Believer. You know that's publicly available on YouTube, right? Dude, look at it. See? Hold on. I just gotta... Okay. Here you go. Yeah, see? Yeah, it's right there. It's literally right there. Like, DP themselves uploaded it. "12 Ghost Manatees Pass, Tommy Sotomayor Gauntlet." No, nah. Most people on DFF wouldn't even get it, for the most part, I feel like. Outside of a few people. So. Manatee, at least, you know, is something that can be worked with, you know, even with a new audience. But, like, that, I don't know. Not as much. Manatee still made him lives. Well, yeah, the Manatee himself. But, like, anyone around him, fucking no. They're just, like, random, like, even more of a nobody than the Manatee himself. Frankly, the fact that the Manatee even has, like, some fucking, like, you know, recognition, you know, is honestly sad in itself. Honestly, it took my brain, you know, a moment to process the fact that it even did. It's like, oh my god. Their episode on Torture stream with him and to get masked. Again, like, I don't know if everybody on DFF is gonna recognize these fucking memes outside of, like, OGTP dudes. So, I just don't really necessarily see it as, like, one of those things where it's gonna be, like, you know, like, where it's gonna stick. Unless it was, like, a niche thing that they decided to do as, like, you know, maybe a mini gauntlet. If they decide to do, like, mini ones, you know, for, like, you know, 3 hours, you know, for, like, a little baby one or something. For one, you know, for gauntlets where there's, like, enough meat on the bone for there to be, like, an extensive, you know, stream of, but, yeah. Bolster obsessed couch. Well, Which one? Is it the one where he was in, like, Houston or some shit? Mounds? Oh, I know this story. He's told me. Yeah, okay, well, Jesus Christ, he hasn't told me, but, you know, I've heard his story before. As well, if he ever got the couch and he said, "That's ancient history, why do you remember that?" Well, because it is. I mean, because it is ancient history. I mean, it's like... I mean, for all intents and purposes, it is. Like, I mean, why, like, at this point, is anyone, like, wondering what the hell happened with his couch after all these years? I mean, who knows or cares, right? Like, I mean... Just want to know if you ever got his couch. Didn't he say it in the story that he didn't, and he never did? I just don't think he ever did. Because, like, I think it's in the story, you know, itself, it mentions, he says that he didn't. Any closure? Well, I'm pretty sure the closure is in the story. Which is that he doesn't get it. Or I think he did, but it was all, like, fucked up anyway, and it didn't work, so it ended up not being, like, something that, like, got assembled properly or some shit. I don't fucking know. Now you make me have to rehash that story. Hashtag worst cat. Jesus fucking Christ. Literally bringing back a meme from, like, 2014. Oh my god. Not even then, like, more like 20 fucking, like, 13, dude. Oh, Dios mío. Dios fucking mío. Ay, cabrón. Hashtag where's the cow? Dude, oh my god. You're seriously fucking adamant. You're seriously adamant about this goddamn fucking IKEA thing, dude. Jesus Christ. Go hit it up with Odin. He's the fucking master of IKEA. Forging, you know, furniture with the hammer and Thor and stuff, just like Jesus. So, I don't know. Go talk to him. Talk to him about that shit. But, anyway. I think I'm gonna get myself some food. I'm not super tired yet, but starting to get there. But as soon as I get myself some food, I'm pretty sure I'll, like, nail the rest of the way. Asking Paul, where's the couch? Dude, watch him, like, go off on you or something, dude. Watch him be like, man, what the fuck are you going off about the goddamn couch? What are you even talking about? Watch him just be like, what are you even talking about? Oh my god. He's just gonna pop off on you, dude. Watch it. He will. Might not ban you. But definitely pop off on you. But anyway. Well, let's call it good for the rest of the little lovely evening. Or, I guess, technically morning, but whatever. I don't really give a shit anymore. So, anyway, peace out. Now, of course, I'll see y'all in the next one. So, toodaloo, buckaroos.